We
Wait,
start.
so should I have been recording? Because I never
Now,
heard the
we
go
can
to
start.
record.
Start your recording. Start your recording now. We're good.
Okay.
Yep. I was waiting for the opening to end. Unfortunately, we cannot record the opening. We will actually get orbital strike if we try to do that. So, no. Like, basically none of the openings we have. That's going to be a server special. So you got to watch live if you want to hear the opening we're currently having for the part. Because otherwise, we will be not having fun with issues regarding fair use and copyright. So we can't do that, unfortunately. But it doesn't mean we can't play the other tracks that we have for the game. So let me start those up. uh, yes. All right, that music's a little bit quieter. I can probably cut that up a little bit. Let me just make sure OBS is fine. We're on new stuff for me at least. So I am. If the recording feels a little bit weird or sounds a bit off when we words end up uploading it, that'd be why. We're gonna finagle this out over the next few sessions. So yes, new computer, new digs. So I will give a recap as best as I remember because I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since the last Echoes of Stardust session. So give me one moment to get my bearings. So. In the last session, or last episode of Echoes of Stardust, the group of, or the, I guess, Echoes of Stardust now group, had been finishing up some of their job at the Alto Latel's Lalel, town or settlement, for Divine Tears, the, I believe, barbecue joint that had been one of the main places of, or one of the main places in the settlement. We had been working for, if I remember correctly, their names were Franz, Boneclaw, and I remember Boneclaw and Honeclaw. I don't remember the other one's first name, but Boneclaw and Honeclaw, the two owners of the Divine Tears, after hunting some wyverns and some sickle drakes, we had came back with all the meats and parts that we needed for them to whip up a new recipe, which had been called or had been dubbed I believe, the Dragon Roast or something like that, or Drake's Roast. Something that we could potentially come back in the future and get, giving us a litany of bonuses, either just to health or also to some poison resiliences. But that being said, after receiving our meal and talking a little bit with the history as it pertained to not just Lalel or the Lalel encampment, but some of the Memorum people that also happen to be here. I believe Boneclaw and Honeclaw being two former Memorum civilians or refugees that had moved during the time of AW07 here to actually, which would have been about 5 years ago, to actually set up shop here and avoid the Memorum civil war, and inevitably after that, and about last year, the Memorum retribution conflict. Something which Boneclaw seemed rather reluctant to talk about. Or sorry, Honeclaw was the one who seemed rather reluctant to talk about for the time being, it seems. Though it might be something to ask Sharptooth about, since that's where it seemed Honeclaw pointed them to. Outside of that, they talked a little bit more with both of them, Boneclaw and Honeclaw, about the Altus regime potentially being around or having some issues with militias, but they didn't really get into too much detail. It seems as if it's a rather hushed thing in the town at the moment. Though something they did talk a little bit about and led to some, we'll say, introspection in some of the party was about a large spire that somehow the party had seemingly missed this entire time of staying. Called the it is actually kind of staggering that we didn't notice this, but yes, called the Giant Lalel Tower of Spear Scale, which coincidentally is located in the Spear Scale district. Um, this led to a little local history lesson shared by Karina, Starsha, and Felt. Starsha spoke about the tower, about there being several towers similar to these, or moreover that this tower had been some type of like leftover remains from several towers that had been erected all across Lapsus. One being in every Lalel settlement, or assumedly Alto settlement. However, it seemed that there were many more that had been destroyed in the Consortium Wars over 200 years ago, along with other encroachments that had happened in the Pride period and Rising Wars. As it seems the Consortium has a unfortunate history of destroying native landmarks of the Alto people, at least in the past, we'll say. I would never imagine they would do something like that now. But in any case, along with that, this brought up a conversation about some of the more specific lore as it pertained to the tower that was erected here, and that being the story that Felt would tell of Lox, Anamiki, and Aketzoquatl, which relates to the Washi Path, or moreover the main Lalel or Alto Latel faith, as it were. It seems that there were many towers. They were kind of created in their names and in that kind of the Washi Path faith. This being one of them, that seemed to represent the various stories of Lox, Awanamiki, Aketzoquatl, and the Alto Latel broadly. Specifically, the Lalel, or specifically one of the Alto towers that came into question, was talked about a story that broached some somewhat unsavory territory for Marliana and Karina, as there had been a lesson to the story that seemed to relate to the idea of being driverless, or in other words, lacking purposeful ambition or desire, and how it could lead to one's own demise and reckless wrath to hurt not only themselves but those they care about as well. It also related to a potential invitation of malevolent forces, which, while there wasn't much discussion on, was something that Starsha did note, I believe. Just as something to keep note of. These malevolent forces, though Karina didn't go in and Felt didn't go into detail, it seems as though there's some very, very specific Alto history and omens about. Though they might have not been as understood, or they might not understand them as much as others might. However, after all that, it seems after all of that was done, the party left the area to go and meet another person before they left. Someone that actually Karina had pointed out they might want to meet, since Starsha had said wanting to look for some of the Altos' more technological and engineering aspects, as that had been an interest of hers after studying them so much. This led them to meet Gareth Steelclaw, a friend of Karina, and a very close friend, I should say, of Karina, and seemingly would reveal some information about the recent issues in the tribe. It seemed that he disagreed with much of the way that some of the tribe had been treating Karina as of late, and that the party had been observing, at least some in the party had been observing. And what specifically he had been disagreeing with was the decision with how the tribe was maybe pushing Karina towards certain ways. Though he didn't really elaborate on all the details, he was predominantly happy to see that Karina had found friends and companionship, it seemed, with the party, and that they were leaving of their own accord, as opposed to some other way, which he did not, again, elaborate on. But outside of that, the main thing the party would find would be 2 books, and Starsha would float a little bit of an idea around the party about creating armored knights in the future. As after seeing a resonance core sitting in the back of Gareth's shop a seeker resonance core sitting in the back of Gareth's shop in a crate, this prompted a whole conversation around the subject, including, of course, money, which Marliana and Starsha seem to be constantly going in circles around, and I am sure will be a constant matter that will always be present in the party, at least at the moment, till more money is more regularly circulated in the party. But after all that, and getting their books, I believe Marliana receiving a metallurgy-based book with some potential interesting places of interest the party might want to investigate in the future. And Starsha's book relating to Armored Knight creation, as well as some advancements, something they had been reading during their time in the Qual debacle. They would decide to leave the area and head off to Mogah. On the way to Mogah, Karina began to elaborate a bit more, as something had been noticeably bothering them. I think the party picked up on it pretty well during the luncheon they had, but especially after a while, after Karina seemed just notably despondent, it seemed, or notably just upset. Karina would speak about how they wanted to explore and travel outside of Lalel, and they had been thinking about it for quite a long time, but mainly to see more inspiration for their fashion and to meet more people, since they only ever were allowed to stay within the bounds of the Lalel forest, at least up until recently, I guess, with the party's arrival. It seems as though Karina has been a bit confused as to why everything's been changing so rapidly about them. Karina is, well, in terms of their confusion, while they're aware of their familial connection, it doesn't seem as though it's I should clarify. Since they are aware somewhat of their familial connection to some important role among the Alta Latel, that being the Ahau, it seems as though not everyone even in the village is, despite their ways of treating Karina, and while there is some that Karina suspects know, notably Sharptooth, who told them, and some of the inner circle around them, and even some of Karina's close friends, like Gareth, Yosuke, and things like that, most of the tribe seem to just be acting the way they are without knowing this, as when Karina had confronted them multiple times, or multiple people in the tribe, about their, we'll say, off-putting nature towards Karina as of late, most of them couldn't actually give a real answer and would merely just try to avoid them altogether, shunning them but without really much words. They assumed originally that this had been because they had, for lack of a better term, been shirking their responsibilities, but it seems as though without them knowing that, they're not really sure why, and suspects perhaps they might have been told to act as this. Now, when that was mentioned, the party deliberated about this, mainly, I believe, Starsha at the time, and presented an alternative option to why this might have happened, and perhaps that Quada, as Karina had suspected telling them, perhaps had told them to push Karina out of the village, since it seemed as though that's what Karina had always wanted to do, but was not doing it for many of their other existing responsibilities in the village and tribe. And seeing this, I guess, alternative way of thinking about it, and with Karina kind of explaining that they see Quada almost as like a parental figure, that's the only really parental figure they've ever had in their life, outside of just the usual communal parental raising. They were quite ecstatic and, in fact, wanted to talk to Quada before they left, as they think they might want to stay with the party a little bit more permanently, at least at the moment, as they're dealing with everything here. After all that conversation, they would eventually get closer to Mogah and be met by a few members of the Mogah control guard detail, who seemed to be, well, rather, I guess, impartial to their survival after believing that they had been dead and had been sent looking for them, to look for them by Breeze, the guard captain of Mogah. One of them had a little, how shall we say, Freudian slip and called the party in a really aggressive tone foreigners, with a little bit of a, we'll say, a little bit of a drawl behind their voice. But they were quickly corrected by their other guard mate, which I believe, someone might have to remind me of the names, but I believe one of them was named Connor. Am I wrong about that? Collins and Jeffries, that was their names. I think Collins was the one that mentioned, yes, Collins was the one that mentioned the foreigners comment, and Jeffries was the one that corrected them and said travelers, and also told them kind of off a bit about being more personable to outsiders, which they seem to kind of shrug and blow off, though there might be more to that, it seems. Past that point, they went there. They said that they would report back that they were fine and that Breeze would be probably happy to hear that. And also mentioned they might want to check in with Breeze later, either that night or the morning since they were getting back late. And they just shrugged off. I'm just checking my notes, one moment. I think that the only thing left, is the guild hall. So, arriving at the guild hall, once they made it back to Mogah later that night, Shia and Karina would greet each other well, as it was revealed that Shia and Kane often visit the Lalel area, and have known Karina for a decent chunk of time, at least as long as the guild hall has been here, and get along quite well. However, it does not seem... not however. Let me rephrase that. Past this, once they were all acquainted and everyone was on the same page as to Kane's current situation, his safety and such, as well as what they found with the Dorga quest involving the poisoned meat or the BOS infected meat, the party was given another quest, which ironically was already one they were planning on investigating for 300 gold, to investigate what's happening with the poisoned meat and what is happening in Mogah broadly. As that continued, Starsha and the others, I believe it was Starsha and... I feel like there was someone else that asked, but I might be wrong. Maybe it was Magellan, asked about Dale specifically, as they have currently him as their primary suspect, the shipmaster, harbor master of the Mogah area. However, Shia seemed to mention that they didn't know much about Dale's current situation, as she'd been very distracted with Kane's whole situation and worrying about him, as well as Mogah's inability to receive support from other settlements. Though I don't believe it was really dug into yet as to what that entailed, which is where we're going to begin in a moment. But she had mentioned that she contacted the Qual area and Mogana, even though there's not a guild hall in Mogana. But it seemed like both routes to their town are actually being plagued by raiders and some monsters for some reason at a higher rate. As well as the fact that they're not receiving ships from the south, as the party knows there seems to be some issues in the South Waters, or the Cove. They're kind of running out of supplies very quickly, and they are going to need to figure something out fast, because people are getting a bit antsy, is all she had said. But she had to go and make sure everything else was all right and update some things and probably some people in other areas. And that was where we had left off. So, party also picked up a quest from Gareth called Scrapper's Delight, if I remember correctly, to go and deal with some constructs that had been running amok in the area that was south between Quald and Lalel in the forest. But the party had planned on doing that after they got the Quald. They're given around 4 to 5 days to do it, so they figured they'd have enough time. Hell, they could do it on the way up to Quald if they wanted to. But anyway, we will begin with the party getting their way back to their room. The room is rather, as you all left it, decently spick and span. It seems like whoever was remaining here did not do much with the stuff you left, as in they didn't trash anything or something like that. Everything is rather neatly put together. The beds and stuff are all folded, probably Shia or something. And anything you guys left, I think most of you all kept your stuff on you for the trip to Lalel, so yeah, everything's looking fine.
Cool.
So, what would you all like to do? It is around 9... We're going to say it's around 9 o'clock now. So, it's not midnight yet, but most shops are closed, you would know. There's, fire-lit torches in the area, lampposts, so to speak, or makeshift lampposts. And for the most part, you can tell, people are winding down for the night, as far as you can tell. If you wanted to go to the barracks, I should say if we wanted to go to the barracks, that is an option, but it is late. Not saying that they wouldn't obviously not be there, but there's also and if you are wondering, because I guess I don't know if I mentioned this, but Zera is not staying in your room at the moment. Zera is in her own room. She got one after you all left. We
You
all
mentioned it last time.
Okay, I don't know if I mentioned it in the recap, but just in case anyone forgot, yes, Zera, you do know Zera is, I mean, all intents and purposes, she's alright, but she has her own room right now. I don't know if she had said anything about her being there currently, but she might be there. If you asked her, she would tell you where it is. It's not really a secret, but she is not in your room. Her stuff is not in your room anymore, so.
We should probably have her check on Cthulhu. I mean, it's been a couple days.
Starsha kind of nods. Yes, I guess that is her job, isn't it? And she's not very good at it, though. Oh well. Let's go. She'll look over at Gathor, and Gathor is she seems like she's doing relatively fine. Like she's not like gnawing on the walls or anything. Though I guess that would probably be normal behavior for Gathor. Well, maybe not gnawing on the walls, probably gnawing on something. She seems to just kind of be. What was that? Out of your hand.
The last time it was my hand.
Yeah, she was sucking on your hand at one point, so that, not necessarily the best thing, I guess. As long as
she didn't bite, so
yeah, that's fine.
Whatever. Could have been worse.
Yeah, I guess it could have.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've been writing down the time I've been driving the carriage and stuff.
Yes.
And it's called training time.
Oh,
does that
count?
Mean, I haven't added it to my actual.
I'm gonna say. Oh man, I guess it is my decision right now, isn't it? I'm gonna say. Sure.
Big bet. All right, cool.
But ask Lily, and if she wants to change that later, then just mark the amount of time that was.
I've got it separate here.
Okay. Yeah. I don't see that being a problem, and I think that she would let that go, like let that be a thing. So I'm gonna err on that.
I just need one more hour of training until I can roll again. Let's go.
If I remember correctly, books do not count as training time, though. So.
Yeah, I know books don't.
Yeah, and I'm just clarifying for anyone else that's wondering if you were like reading.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Speaking of books, I don't know how long mine is.
Oh, I can give you that information.
Or any of the information.
Yeah, I got you. I opened up the wrong thing. I don't need Emiko up right now. Let me. Book. It's always something. Always something. Damn, that recap took me a minute. I apologize about that. I'll be quicker about them. I kind of just went through my actual notes and tried to paraphrase. Sorry. Your book, it was the Metallurgy Volume 1, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Metallurgy. Nope, that's Smithy and Ore. There it is. Metallurgist. Sorry, not metallurgy. Metallurgist. Metallurgy is the name of the thing. Ah, yes, because it has information about... So the description for this book is not accurate. That's why it's highlighted yellow. But, well, I guess it won't be highlighted yellow in the thing I'm about to send. But there you go. The description is not right. Also, it's missing the, like, break in the between cost and then the description, so, like, you know.
That's alright. That's...
Cool. Alright, so you have your time now for that. This shouldn't take you that long to read as well.
Wait, where... Oh, yeah. 50 hours for me.
Yeah, 50 hours for you. So, unfortunately, I don't have any way of quickly reading my book, so... that's
Not
fine.
yet.
Not yet, yeah. Though, I'm honestly more worried about reading multiple books than I am quickly. But that's a different story. In any case... I feel like I am missing something. Ah, yes, I am. Okay. So... What you guys doing? Do you want to go?
Well, yeah, I think you and I are gonna take
Yes,
find
Gathor's is
Zera
there.
for the door.
Does anyone else want to go see Zera, or are the rest of you doing something else? And if you are, what are you doing? Going to sleep? Doing a little training, reading? What you doing? Talking to Shia? Magellan, homie?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
Okay, I need a last sentence, unfortunately.
Oh, what are you doing?
We just got back to our room. Starsha and I are going to
To talk with Zera. Oh, Starsha,
that.
Gathor, and Marliana, I should say. Because we're checking... Well, what do I say checking? We're having Gathor be checked by Zera. That is Zera's job, after all.
True. I was. Honestly, I wanted to bother Zera anyway.
So you going with
So,
us?
Yeah.
Alright. Homie, what are you doing?
Where am I
Homie.
going?
Yep, where are you
I'm
going?
here. Zera.
You want to go to see Zera too? Alright. We're all going to Zera. I think Felt and Kareem... Huh. Would they be curious about who Zera is? I think Karina is because of the way Starsha acted. And Felt probably just doesn't want to go into the room alone. So... she's gonna accompany. Just... I wouldn't say out of curiosity. More just like... why not? So...
I'm gonna tell her at night sometimes we think she's a vampire and she goes out to feast on people's blood.
She's like, are you sure? A vampire? She's like looking a little concerned. Is she safe
I think
to be
she's
around?
bitten me before. And I'm feeling a little hungry.
She like kind of starts to like shrink away from you. She just looks over, like side eyes you. Oh me.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Oh.
She just looks over. Let's not make this any more difficult than it's going to be, please.
You think it's gonna be difficult? I think we're gonna have a fun time.
It's Zera. It's always difficult. It's like pulling teeth.
Teeth, you say? Shit. And I do like little finger fangs.
She just massages the bridge of her nose and keeps walking. So, it will not take you guys long. Zera's room is honestly like 2 doors away from yours. So, walks down the hall. And before, who wants to knock?
I'll knock.
Who needs knocking? Just
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
open the door.
So Marliana, you go up to the door, and as you're about to knock, homie just walks over, opens, swings the door open. Homie, you saying anything?
Nope. Just. I don't even walk through. There's just the door.
Just door open. All right. So the door swings open. You hear the creaking of the door for a moment, and then inside you can see a very pristinely kept room. Like, honestly, so pristine you would not expect someone to be actually like being in here, despite being like you can physically see Zera is sitting at a desk and is writing something right now. On the side of her desk, you can see a couple of, like, maybe files isn't the right word. Maybe, like, elixirs and stuff like that. And also a bottle. Yeah. Yes, that. Right there.
Hey, you know.
Mm-hmm. But yes, you can see she's, like, writing down something right now on a book, it seems like. That same book you're usually used to seeing her. She doesn't really seem to react to the party at the door at all. Like, she just continues working on her stuff as if she doesn't notice your presence.
I know the door's already open.
Just
I'm gonna knock on the frame.
She kind of continues writing for a moment, and then she stops, puts the pen down very gently, and then like looks over to all of you at the door. Will are you going to enter?
Can we enter?
You've already opened the door. Sasha just walks
I,
in.
yeah, I'm gonna walk. I'll walk into.
Not happy, but she just walks in.
It's gonna slowly walk in.
Homie,
She kinda
why are
looks
you the way
over.
you are?
You've added some new... She looks up, you've added some new people to your group.
I heard that Felt was here. Did Karina come too? Or
Yeah,
didn't?
Karina came because she was interested since Starsha acted the way she acted. So she was curious why
Okay.
Starsha had the reaction. Because she hasn't really seen Starsha be like... How would I put it in a nice way? A bitch. So, you know, like, she's not really exactly sure why Starsha's acting so... annoyed. But she's about to find out. Felt will kind of approach as well, like she'll enter the room. Karina kind of like looks around like the room. She's like, "Wow, this place is quite spick and span. You wouldn't have guessed anyone lives, or I guess is resting here. You keep things quite really neat. Miss Zera?" Zera just kind of looks at her. Do you not like the word miss? I can just call you Zera. Zera just kind of stares.
She's not always the biggest on talking. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Oh. Sarsha just looks over. I told you.
She prefers Count Zera.
Sarah just looks over at you, homie, but doesn't say anything. Sarsha just... Alright, enough games. We just came here so you can check Gathor's condition, and that's all that we came here for. You can go back to writing in your book once you're done with that. It's your job, after all. Sarah kind of looks over at Gathor. She'll stand up now and actually approach. Gathor... there's a little bit of like a small shrink away. You'll notice Zera actually does stop when she does that, and Gathor just kind of murmurs like, "It's fine, sorry, just a bit startled." And Zera will continue to approach. Once Zera gets within like arm's reach, she'll hold out her hand. Honestly, what's everyone's passive spiritual soul sensing? I'd say, like if you're at least a 14, you're fine. You'll notice what she's like really doing, but I didn't say really doing. It's not that.
That's cute.
I'm guessing that's not high for you.
I've got a 9.
All right, so not you. She do be doing something with her hands. You do know that. Like
I wouldn't mind checking with a roll.
We'll do this one as a passive.
Isn't passive just plus 10 from what you already
Yeah,
have?
it's your score plus 10. Yes. Or
I have
yeah, your
14.
skill bonus. 14. So yeah, you'll notice it. Magellan. I don't actually know if Magellan has good pluses to soul sensing, believe
I
it or
have
not.
no good pluses here.
Yeah,
This is the
but to
wrong
say
one.
awareness, I know you're good at, but soul sensing, I'm not sure if you're. Yeah. Well, believe it or not, only 2 people actually don't have a decent enough soul sensing to know what is actually happening just off the bat, which I think is Magellan and Marliana. Huh. Well, everyone else, I guess. Zera seems to be doing, at least initially, what seems like a rudimentary sense of Gathor's like spiritual energy and such. It seems like she's doing like multiple things, not just like one thing. She's ascertaining, you would imagine, like if her spiritual like energy or her aura has like probably increased at all within the last time she's seen her, which you notice she does note when like she's sensing Gathor. Gathor's energy kind of wavers a bit, maybe like she said she was startled, but she kind of like her eyebrow raises a bit at something, and then she moves her hand across her, like kind of towards her head. Interesting. She doesn't really say anything else, which will move her hand back down. And she will pull her hand back to her side. Let me see if she has something she wants to say. I just want to read something. No, that's ahead of things. Hmm. No more. She will say, yeah. So she will say something. I believe that there's. She kind of thinks for a moment. I believe there's not a lot I can do at the moment. However, I do know the next steps. She'll look over at the rest of your party. I'd like to more thoroughly examine her, but I'll need some assistance. I think I have... She looks over at you, and then she continues. I think I have a grasp on what her condition might be, or moreover, how we might rectify it. However, to properly deal with it, I'll need a trained celestial, someone that can assist me with this.
Well, isn't that a coincidence?
Sasha nods.
We plan on going to one when we get to Quad.
Felt kind of raised her hand. I have a bit of celestial in me. What would you need someone to do? She kind of notes, like, looks over at Fel. Fel kind of, like, shrinks away when her gaze goes over. And then Zera just kind of looks, there is no reason to be afraid. I'm not going to attack you or anything.
Who?
I just instinctually take a step back.
Sorry? She Vel kind of looks over, just kind of like, oh, okay. And she just kind of says, you could help, but I don't know if you might have the training. Actually, I've seen you before around here. Felt, yes, you're with the Way of the Sea faith, I believe, correct? She kind of looks at her insignia on her. She's like, Felt just kind of nods. You might actually be able to help. This might make things go much more swimmingly. Yes. You could do something, actually. But I'll need a little bit more. There's a specific ritual that I'll need done. And Spell kind of looks, a specific ritual. Do you know the details? She's like, I'm ironing them out at the moment. Once I have them fully, I will show you. Sasha kind of will speak up and she'll say, we also have another celestial that could assist us, Gaia-free, back at Quald. But we need to get there. Zera kind of looks over. She kind of says, and that seems that the way to Quald is having some difficulties at the moment. When are you all planning to go?
Those difficulties.
She looks over at you.
I look at Starsha. I don't know when.
Starsha will say, we have something to take care of here. Zera kind of raises an eyebrow to that. You were talking so much about your companion being such an important thing to you. Would that not be your top priority? Starsha kind of looks at her a bit. She's like, I didn't know that you cared so much. You don't seem to show it. Well, what is it then? Sasha kind of looks. We found something weird out about the Dorga that we were after. They were BOS infected, but someone fed them BOS infected material. We need to find out who it was. Zera kind of thinks. She kind of closes her eyes for a moment, thinking, why? Sasha's like, what do you mean, why? Why are you looking for? Why do you need to know?
We can't just have BOS spreading around. I mean, it's not good for the general public, but Gathor can't be around it either, right?
Sasha nods. Exactly. She kind of looks over at you all. In the general public, you say. You've been gone for a few days. Things in this town have slightly drifted, or perhaps the better word would be things in this town are beginning to unveil themselves. But if that's what you want to do, that's fine. She kind of looks. She stops for a minute and looks over at Homie and then Marliana, and she kind of squints at you two. Shakes her head.
I'm still doing
I
the
mean-
thing.
Never mind.
Got an idea why.
Alright, if you say anything, she just kind of shook her head and like goes back to her desk for a moment, unless you say anything.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna nod.
Okay.
No, like
Just no.
I understand. I think, but
So she
I think she
will
got it.
fish
You know, I
around
don't think I need to say
her.
it.
She'll fish around something, and she looks in her desk for something, and she grabs. She grabs something, reads it, nods, puts it back. She'll look over to you, Marliana. There is someone that can help you potentially with your martial arts.
Oh,
Woo!
Someone from Kronos. They responded back earlier. They're reliable,
I looked
but
at home.
they're a mild bit wet behind the ears still. In any case, she'll give you the paper, and she will say, contact them when you reach Quald.
did she give it? Who?
You,
I
you,
assume she gave it
Mariana,
to home
you,
to me.
Mariana. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. Homie has a little more attachments to Kronos since that's where he was for the last month. But
You're right,
whatever.
but you were the one that asked for assistance with your martial arts, specifically certain types.
That is
of it.
true. That is
So
true.
that's why she looked for this.
I mean,
And she actually will
do an
look to
awkward bow.
She is gonna look over to Homie, and she's gonna say, as for you, how are things coming along? Tell me if I'm too quiet,
Yeah.
sorry.
A touch louder wouldn't be bad, but I can
Okay.
hear you.
Let me adjust real quick. That
I
better?
could just turn it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm standing up, sorry. I just need to adjust where my mic is to listen a bit better. Alright, that good?
Mhm.
Alright, cool. Sorry, you were saying, Homie. Didn't mean to cut you off.
I said with, like question mark.
Anna says, she kind of says, I witnessed you practicing other, certain things with chrono-based energy.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
So, how was it going?
I did it. I used it, and then I was told not to use it again until another time.
She kind of squints. You used it. I was referring to one of your chronomancy-based maneuvers. Did you do something?
Oh,
She kind of like squints. You did.
He told on himself. I thought she knew, to be honest.
She
but I
had a
guess I
hunch,
assumed wrong.
but she didn't know. She was like, okay, the actual train of thought she had was, there's no way they did something that fucking stupid. So I'm gonna act
Also,
like they
they-
didn't. Is what
Well,
her
I'm not
exact
telling
train
him
of
my
thought
fault.
was. So
I'm not
Starsha
telling
just
him my
looks. She looks over. No. The thing is, she looks over at Starsha, and Starsha just looks over at her incredulously, like, "What? You let them use their spiritual releases?" Starsha's like, "Let them? I told them not to do it."
Before we used it. But I guess
She
that
looks
is-
at you. Starsha looks at you like.
Well,
She
me.
told me not
no
to
one
use
told
it.
me. No
And
one
then
told
I
me
used
until
it.
after I used it.
She kind of looks over. It's fair. I didn't tell you not to use it until afterwards, which, thankfully, you listened. This one, and she looks over at you, homie. She, like, grabs you by the ear. This one didn't listen when I said not to use spiritual releases because they can damage your body and your spiritual
I thought
vents.
it was built different.
You aren't! Not in this way. She's like...
Hold on. I'll let you think that Magellan's over in the corner just for the sake of being like, I don't know, indignant. He's like, I want to release my spiritual energy.
Zera kind of looks over. Starsha, did you not tell them what could happen? She kind of says. Starsha looks over. Yes, I did. I told them they could damage the spiritual events. And that's the mild thing that could happen.
You can explode.
Can implode?
I only know
Implode.
a bit, but if you lose control, there's a lot of things that can happen. Zera will walk over to her chair. She won't sit down, she just places her hand on her book for a second. As Starsha continues, Starsha's like this. Listen. All of you need to understand. There's some things that you can't just heal normally from if you fuck something like this up, alright? There's also some things you might not be in control of. I don't know the details. I wasn't exactly conscious during it. Zera there's a moment where Zera kind of looks at Starsha when she says that, but doesn't say anything. I would say most of you pick up on like her gaze, like shifting, and Starsha just says, "All you need to know is, it might not be just yourself that's caught in the blast if something goes wrong, and you might not be able to use your energy anymore." Zera will sit up and actually speak up now. Starsha is not wrong. I'm going to relay a story to you. She's still got her hand on her book. She leans over and looks at all of you. I had an old comrade. They ended up trying to use too much of their energy, in this case, chaos energy, too early. When they did, they succumbed to their other, we'll call it, and their energy consumed them. If they had not been stopped, let's say, something around the size of perhaps Tarataro or even Sidiver could have potentially been leveled.
I don't know what either places are. I don't know what those places are.
Like, place?
I don't think.
Roll me a knowledge local regal, I guess, for most of you. I think you could roll a recollection, what is it, Marleona, if you wanted to. I don't know whichever's higher for you, but...
Probably recollection.
Like, I feel like Sidiver and Tarataro is the other one that they name. Probably closer to Sidiver in terms of, like, the damage.
What, like, that second spelling could be.
Tarataro? It's actually not that bad, I'm not gonna lie. It's actually spelled exactly how it sounds. Tarataro.
Nah. I doubt.
Totoro. No, I'm sorry.
I've got something.
You've got
Where's
something.
my recollection? Alright, here we go.
So we got...
I got it. Highest is a 13.
Oh, wow. I got a really high bonus. 17, 13. 13's probably good enough. 12. Maybe not. 12. Like, these aren't... No, I'd say give it to you with a 12. Like, these aren't places that are, like, not... Like, they're known about. You know what I mean? So, I'll give you everyone the benefit of the doubt here and say you know. So, Tarataro is very big now. It used to be a town, but then around 2 years ago, it got like a huge like investment from the Memorum people, or Memorum, I guess, state government. And it is probably one of the biggest cities in Lapsus now. Like, it is big. And I'm gonna addendum something. She would have said a sector of Tarataro, not all of Tarataro, because that would have actually been too big. Sidiver is also a big port city. It's got several districts, and it is known as like one of the main premier port cities outside of Baroque and what is it? It's the capital. Not Chris. Fuck. What's it called? The capital of of the consortium. I can just scroll up to it. I'm Credea. I don't know why I didn't just scroll up. Yeah. So those are Cidiver isn't as big as Credea is, but Cidiver is still pretty big of a city. At least in terms of like bounds, I guess we're talking about. Her telling you that a singular person had the potential to level that area is not a small feat. Maybe they don't mean like maybe she doesn't mean necessarily kill everyone there, or even just fight everyone in that area, but like just the amount of devastation that could have happened, type deal. It's a pretty sizable thing. Like we're talking about like Elder Beast level of damage. If like at that point, you know what I mean? So after she kind of after she says that, she kind of looks at everyone, kind of noticing if anyone recognizes like how she's the bounds of which she's talking about, and seeing that she nods. Perhaps it was an overestimation, but the potential is still there. And had they not been stopped, there's no telling what could have happened. They are not the only one that I've witnessed lose control of a spiritual release or a zone, but they were the one that I note the most, because of how they had to be stopped. The other ones, their vents ruptured. They were unable to cast or channel anymore. They were unable to do maneuvers anymore. She looks at you, Marliana and Homie, when she says that. They were spiritually numbed, effectively. And the last, the Paracasa wielder. Kind of pauses for a second. We did what we had to do. She takes her hand off her book and looks over at all of you. I did what I had to do, and I had to kill them.
Can I mood when she said that they were a comrade?
Yes, you can. I'm gonna mood as well. Starsha wants to know something. She's like, this is the most she's ever shared with us.
That's the most she's spoken ever.
Yeah, I know. And it was something actually 19. Ah!
I got a 21.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Nah, I
I mean,
No one else? Alright. I mean, you never know. You could roll a nat 20.
yeah, no, I'm going. Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Alright.
I was writing things. Still writing
I'm
things.
gonna roll something. I don't really need to roll that. But Belt notices something. Do they have a DC? They don't have a DC. Or should I roll for them? Nah, I just set a DC. Considering how stoic they are, I'm gonna set it at... Okay, we'll go 18 or 20. Even 20, odd 18. Okay, it's 18. So anyone that got an 18 or higher, you are able to tell some things, which is, I believe, Homie and Fel and Starsha. So, Homie.
Yeah.
When she mentioned, it wasn't specifically the comrade part. She's been relatively, like, monotone in how she normally is, for the most part. It was when she paused and talked about having to kill them. There was something there. Maybe not necessarily, like, a lump in their voice, but, like, there was a recognition and a sorrow you, like, instinctually felt for a moment before it subsided. Probably was kind of swiftly hushed within them. but there was some kind of mourning you could feel, like a deep mourning when they mentioned it. And then there's a feeling that kind of ekes through for another moment as they say something else, as they continue. And she will say, I still think about that act, and I wonder if there was anything I could have done to prevent it. Spiritual releases in zones, acting outside the bounds of your normal abilities of your spiritual aura, are very, very costly if you don't know what you're doing. More so if you're paracausal. And she kind of looks over at Starsha when she says that. They can be unforgiving. Paracausality, I mean. Approach it all with caution, regardless. There is a regret you hear, but then it subsides.
Thank
Ooh.
you for sharing, Zera. I'm sure that wasn't the easiest thing to think about and share.
Zera is unfazed. Like, she doesn't really react to what you said.
Whatever. We're
At
being
least,
more
at least,
careful.
sorry, physically, I should say. She doesn't react to what you said.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not good at reading people anyway, so.
That's fair.
We are being more
Sarsha used to not
careful.
be.
And we were told that eventually we could grow to use them, and I'm sure
Zera will
we'll
say, you're well on your way. In fact, I'd say you're knocking at the door of it, at least for this version of it. Do not be in a rush for everything. She says that to you specifically.
Yeah, I look at the floor.
Things come in time. No doubt you're one that pulls the effort towards it. She'll look over at you, homie. That goes for you as well. Though for you, I imagine it's not necessarily impatience.
Low-key, a shot fired, for real.
I'm just acting as Zera. Alright.
Mariana had a thought that Starsha really wouldn't want to hear.
What was that?
Well, I'm not saying it now, but
Yeah.
well, I'm not saying it at all. Actually,
At
so
all,
I'll tell
but-
you, player to DM. Yeah,
Okay,
no.
player to DM. Yeah.
Starsha and Zera are real similar if you really think about it.
Starsha did not say that in front of Starsha right now. Don't do that.
No, I know better.
Even
Mariana knows better.
if you're right, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying, don't do it right now.
No, I don't need that. I don't need that smoke. Yeah.
I can't guarantee it
From
might
either
only
one of
come.
you.
Yeah, I would say I can't guarantee it'll only come from one of us either. But Zera will then kind of she'll sit back down and say, well. Sasha's like, well, what? Don't you have an investigation to get to, so you can head to Quald? It's like, well, yes, but I think we're going to rest for the night first. Zera's like, doesn't sound as imperative. Sasha's like, I didn't know that you cared about it, getting to places so quickly. Perhaps you're right. Starsha kind of a bit taken aback by that. Yeah. Whatever. And Starsha just says, we're leaving. Starsha just starts walking into the room.
I walk out too, but before I leave the door, I'll turn around and give her a smile. Thanks for the number. Sure, it'll come in handy.
Yeah. I'll have a name for you later because I was not supplied one. But if I would have told you if I had a name. But yes, it does have the information to contact them, probably name on it, but I don't have it currently. Zera will kind of look over to you and actually gives you a nod.
Yay, bigger smile.
She doesn't really have an expression change, but she does nod.
It's better than literally nothing, so I'll take it.
Sarsha, she's looking over, or Sarsha looks over and sees that. There's a slight smirk, but she doesn't really say anything. We'll leave with Sarsha, Gathor, and Karina kind of like looks over. She's like, well, nice meeting you. He didn't really say anything to me, but I'm great to have you on the team. I'm new as well. Oh yeah, you pointed that out. Not the best at conversation. Yeah, you have a good night. They start like walking out of the room slowly. She like looks over at you, homie. Am I doing this wrong?
You're fine.
Okay. They just kind of like wave to Zera, and Zera just kind of looks at them, and we'll give them like a small hand up. Like, it's like if someone it's like someone attempting a wave, but instead of doing a wave, they just hold up their hand.
It's like the bare minimum. You're in
Yeah.
class.
Yeah, bare minimum, like hand up, and then it goes back down.
Mm-hmm.
Karina's like, that was good. Looks over at you, homie. That was good, right?
Yeah, add an insult for familiarity, you know.
An insult. I don't want them to be mad at me.
No. It's to show closeness.
So,
It's like
so,
how people be like, yeah, like you call your best friend like a dumbass, but you mean it in an endearing way. Starsha does it to me all the time, you know. It's so endearing.
Damn. I honestly I can't even call him on that. He's right. So she's like, huh? I guess that makes sense. All right. She looks. She like tips her head back in. Is it Zera? Right? I don't like the miss. You're. She's like looking like. I didn't think of an insult. Looks back over at you. You have dull fur. He looks over, and she looks back at you, like thumbs up. Like, was that good?
Yeah, thumbs up. Nailed it.
And
Great.
Karina looks back over, still holding the thumbs up, looking at Zera now. And Zera just kind of looks at them. And Karina's like, I don't know if it worked. Is this the...
No, it totally worked. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
She's so happy. Yeah.
Zera just kind of looks at you, homie. And just shakes her head. And then goes back to writing.
She's so aesthetic.
She mummers... Or actually, I wouldn't say mummers. She just says... Be careful of picking up bad habits from people in the party. Karina's like, bad habits? She kind of looks at you. Did you... Wait, was that not the right thing to do? Homie?
Poor Karina.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah. Was that not the right thing to do?
No. You're closing the bond. It's a bonding. Don't worry.
Oh, what?
Over time.
You do it. You do it
she'll
next.
get it.
You do it.
See you later, bitch.
Bro, I would have bolted after that.
So it's just at the other room as the door's open, you can just hear homies say, you hear, see you later, bitch, like from the hallway. So she just looks over. You know, if he gets something broken, I'm not going to fix him this time.
Yeah, just gotta learn one way.
Karina, she's like, wait, where's Karina? Belt's like, I think she's back with, homie, actually. Sasha just sits up. One moment. Zera, by the way, is not paying attention to you at all. And Karina's like, huh. Well, she didn't react. Does that mean that you're not as close?
It's a work in progress.
But she reacted to me. Does that mean I'm closer?
I mean, yeah. Look at that. See?
She like holds up a hand, like in triumph, like yes. Sasha walks over, and you just like the imposing form you could just feel behind you as Sasha looks over towards you, homie. Looks down, homie.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Showing how to be friends or how to build familiarity.
She looks over at Zera, who's not paying attention at all. Sasha will close the door. Looks over at you. Bed, now.
But I'm not even tired. The sun is still out.
It is
like
10 o'clock. It's getting close to like 10 o'clock now at this point.
The sun is still out somewhere.
That is how the sun works.
Something wraps around your waist and starts dragging you as Starsha starts walking back to the room.
I just thought of something. Homie wraps his tails around his waist like a belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he gets 3 tails, what are you gonna do with the 3rd tail?
I mean, you could just keep wrapping them.
But like, it'll be uneven. That'll look strange.
Or I could just let it hang down the middle.
You could.
Okay, so you'll just use one like normal.
Like a loincloth or something, or like an actual just regular tail. Like, what do you mean?
God, I just imagine him as like this. You know the things the sumo wrestlers wear.
Oh yeah.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please.
I was thinking more of like it'd be funny because it'll look like a penis, but if it looks like a loincloth, even better. But yeah.
Well, yes, Karina just looks over, and she's like, she just nods. She's like, friendly ribbing. She's like nodding, like getting. She's learning bad habits. Is what's happening.
Are you calling Starsha a bad influence?
I'm maybe calling 2 people bad influence, but in different ways. But yes, getting back to the room. Also, what is it? The power went out for, or not power. The Wi-Fi went out for Magellan, so they will be back as soon as they can.
Okay.
But yes, they are currently in the room resting. So, everyone can go ahead and get themselves a long rested. So, it is a bit more packed in here. There's 7 of you, and there's only actually 6 beds. So, someone, actually, believe it or not, Karina, chill, because she has a bedroll. Karina has a bedroll, so.
I was gonna say I could give some of my bed. I could sleep in my bedroll.
Yeah. Gathor is unconscious, like, the moment everyone is back. Like, she's the first one unconscious. Belt is not too long afterwards. She's a pretty good sleeper. Karina throws out a pillow, like 2 pillows. She puts this, like, unwraps this, like, kind of very well woven, like, cloth and thatch kind of, like, bedroll, and lays down on it, and she is chilling. Magellan plops in his bed. He's fine. Starsha will let homie go once they're in the room, and she will lay on her bed and head to sleep. So, I imagine Marleon and homie heading to sleep as well.
Yep.
Homie?
Yeah, because I want to know what else to do.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, after a long rest, everyone begins to wake up around the same time. It is overcast. There's a bit of some rain. It looks like it's light rain right now, but it looks like it might continue throughout most of the day and might get a little heavier. Not heavy rain, but definitely some medium rain. You can see there's people outside with like what looks to be umbrellas or like kind of like some boards that they hold over their heads as they're like carrying different things, rushing around. There's not as much activity, at least from what you can see out of the guild hall, at least in this district. But that doesn't mean there's not in the other parts of the town, I should say, or village. Town, I guess it's more like a town village. It's like bordering. But yes. Sarsha, after she kind of stretches, will look over at everyone. Alright, investigation begins today. Our main culprit right now is Dale. But, before we go investigate, we should probably check in with Breeze. The question is, do we want to do two things at once, or do we want to do one and then the other? And then if we do...
I mean, we've got enough people to split up.
We do.
Not that it was an issue before.
Right. Shigana says that might be a good idea then. In that case, this Dale seems to have some issues with the... Well, it seems with certain individuals based on what we've heard. In that case, Marliana, you might not be the worst person to go. Along with maybe Karina and Felt.
Wait, to go where?
Meet with Dale. Well, try to meet him. Magellan will probably say, like, what about me? And Stasha's like, maybe not. If he's the type I'm thinking, and that foreigner comment is anything to go by, I think he might have an issue with... Though you could change. We probably shouldn't do that too quickly. Never mind. Actually, perhaps that might not be the worst idea. A foreigner. I'll go. Magellan, go meet with Breeze. Take Homie with you, and also... take a Thor with you. Yeah, it says. Magellan's like, alright. I guess me and Homie can hold it down. And Gathor, of course. Gathor is still knocked out. It's like, okay, me and him, for the most part. She's like, yeah, she'll wake up after I'm done explaining everything. She'll go along with things, don't worry. But, that might not be the worst idea. Magellan kind of says, foreigner, you say? Oh, I think I see what you might be trying to do. Alright. Oh, so I guess at Breeze, what we gonna tell him or talk about? And Sasha kind of will nod and say, nothing different from what we already told Shia. Update him on everything that we told Shia. About the poisoned food that the Dorgas were given. As well as about the odd weapons that we found there, the somewhat weird Lalel weapons, or yes, but we'll say makeshift Lalel weapons. And also that it's been taken, at least the Dorga part has been taken care of. He's like, alright. What about, he kind of thinks, should I ask him anything? He says, maybe just the rundown of what's been happening while we've been gone. Something Zera told us is digging at me. She said that this town might start unearthing some things it has been hiding. I wonder what that means. I imagine she's been seeing some things in the town while we've been gone. Maybe even before we were gone. He's like, alright, I'll see what I can do. Me and Homie, I guess. Looks over at you, Homie.
Hey.
Nods. Well then. With the rain... We should be mindful of it, but we're not really doing anything too crazy today. Well, I guess...
Knock on wood.
Yeah, and that's the plan at least. She kind of looks over. Though, note, we should try to avoid any fighting until we're all prepared to do so. So that means if something happens, try to alert the others in the group. Magellan's like, alright. Oh, we don't, just the part, I can't, we checked this already, right? But we
Really?
don't have transceiver devices yet, right?
No, I think we were gonna mention it
Yeah.
later on. So, yeah,
This might be a good time to ask Shia.
yeah, them complimentary guild devices,
Well, they might
right?
not be
Yeah.
complimentary, but if we can just borrow some if they have some. Sarsha would say. If we can borrow some, that might not be bad.
Probably
let me
do.
Yes, two. Oh, I said some. Magellan's like, alright, I'll go see if she has got any.
Ooh, I'll go too. I want to ask her something.
Alright. So, Sarsha's like, good. The rest of us can get ready. Alright, I'm taking the bathroom first. Starsha's gonna head over. So yeah. Going to the other side of things. I'll just tell Magellan to join. Oh, sorry. Marliana will let you lead for the most part here.
Cool.
Magellan and you walk down the hall over to the main guild attendant, table or counter. You can see that Shia is going through some books right now. Seems to be reading up on some stuff. Doesn't look like anything too crazy. It looks like one book on the table seems to be related to different guild reports as of late. Not just in this area, but around some other parts of Lapsus. And then also she's seen the book she's currently reading or going through seems to be pertaining to different types of it's a guild book, but it seems to be talking about different types of protocols for certain like a handbook type thing, like protocols for in case of some sorts of situations. Like just based on I'd say from the angle you can't really see what it is, but you can tell it's like probably protocols for eventualities or situations. But in any case, she notices your presence and she's like, oh god, she's got the is Australian, British, what is it? I can't remember how it says. It's what? It's one of those, right?
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit-ish. I don't think I can do like Australian. I can kind of do British, but not very good. And I don't know if I can do Femme British, but I will try. So she would look up. How is everything doing? That's not British.
It is what it is. Well, we're gonna start our investigation today. We actually have two things we're looking to do, so we're gonna be splitting our party a little bit.
Splitting your party, you say?
Yeah, it'll be fine. We've got 7 people now, and we're not doing any combat. Knock on wood. So, I mean, it should be fine. Just a couple errands, really.
She nods. Well, if that's what you say. That's... Oh god, I don't know what this is coming. I don't know what this voice is. I'm sorry. It's not British, but it's something.
It's different, and different is good.
It's different. And it works, but it's not Shia's voice. But that's okay. It is right now. Shia's got a bug. She's got what sounds probably closer to, like, I don't know, Scandinavian. Not Scandinavian. Maybe Swedish. Yeah. As much as I've heard Shia's voice, I should be able to replicate it. At least the cadence, but I can't. I'm sorry. But yes.
More effort than I would use.
Yeah. Well, she'll just nod and she'll say, so, is there something that I can help you with?
Well, we were wondering if there were any transceiver devices we could borrow. so we could keep in
Tranquilos, you
contact
say?
with each other.
She kind of thinks for a moment. Give me a moment. And she will sit up and go somewhere for a moment. After about 3 or so minutes, you can hear her digging through stuff in the back. I'm gonna roll a thing. Inspect Kichon. Is it not? Oh, one sec. I was trying to change. There we go. Trying to take off the slideshow and instead add the page back. I rolled a D100, didn't I?
You sure did.
Yes.
Yep. Ooh. Well, unfortunately, she'll come back. I'm sorry. We don't seem to have that. Not at the moment, at least. I'm sure if we got
Well-
some supplies from the from other parts of the mainland, we could.
Understandable. No worries. We'll be fine. Like I said, just a couple errands. Probably.
Looks out. Looks like it might be coming down for a bit more tonight, or later today at least. Do you need some umbrellas? I do have some of those.
Ooh, I think it's an umbrella.
She looks
Mariana thinking that,
Yeah.
like, why
She
would
kind
you
of
need
looks
an umbrella?
over. She's like, oh, right. Well, there is a bit of a difference between going out and swimming and going out and being in the rain. You could catch cold still, even someone like yourself.
Nah.
Alright.
Nah. I don't know. Mariana doesn't think it's needed.
Alright. I mean, she's not going to force you. She's just offering it. Homie, she'll give you it has a guild, like when you open it up, it has the guild symbol on it, on the top of it. So, you
Can I
get a
come
nice,
keep this?
she
Pretty
kind of
sure.
says,
Yeah.
she'll say, sure, I'll let you keep it.
Yes! Oh my god, I have an umbrella.
Not just any umbrella, a guild symbol umbrella.
Oh, that's cool. I'm now gonna make this umbrella part of my personality.
That's scary. Sounds like a threat. Anyway,
Wait, is it just so? It's not the whole party that's here, right?
no, it's just you. I guess Homie is now here. I guess he
fine.
could have roamed his way there because Starship was taking the shower first or bath first. So, or not really taking a bath.
You know what?
first, just getting
I
ready
will.
first.
I'll
So,
get a
yeah,
couple. I'm not using an umbrella. I think
other people will.
I have my own thoughts about that. But you know, I think some of the other people might want one. Starsha probably.
Mhm.
Gathor questionable. I don't know. I feel like Karina will be fine, and I felt I couldn't tell you. So I'll get as many as she's willing to take, or I'll take as many as she's willing to give.
She'll give you.
Mine
She'll
is-
give you. She has enough for the entire party if you want it. So.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, she'll give you
I might.
7. Well, I mean 6, I guess, because Homie already has one. Magellan will take 1 from you if you give it to him. And you're
I
all-
also have a personal request.
She looks over. Oh.
Well, in the past, actually, this isn't kind of true. I've seen the guild weapons that you guys produce. They seem quite reliable.
She nods. Indeed, they are.
Well, I was hoping to get one, but not until I get to Quald. I'll probably have the resources then.
Ah, I see.
Would
you
you
want,
be able-
you want me to send for you to have one, right?
Yeah, if I could order
Uh,
one to be sent there.
Yes, I can do that. Of course, I can't have it sent here, but...
Yeah, no, we're gonna be heading to Quald, pretty soon. You can just mark in your calendar that this problem in the north is gonna be taken care of.
Well, she looks over. She does say that might be difficult, as you're like, but and then you say like the problem in the north would take care of. She kind of says, "Oh, so I suppose that you're planning on taking care of it." All right. I'll go ahead and draft up a quest, most likely. I imagine once you finish your stuff here.
Yeah.
You'll know. Actually, you might not be the only one going on that. But I'll figure that
Are
out
there other
myself.
teams in the area?
No, not exactly. But I'm sure you'll find out soon. She kind of keeps looking through
Okay.
something. Well, keep it, she says, keep dry. Well, I guess as well as you can be out there. Though I guess for you, it might be more keep moist.
Always. Well, I guess we'll be seeing you then.
Yeah. Kind of looks out of past you a bit, like outside the guild windows and stuff, or outside the guild hall's windows. And she's kind of, what's your passive awareness?
Not good.
Not good. Homie, what's yours?
My passive awareness?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. 17.
Oh, yeah, you and Magellan here. She mummers out, she says, now where did everyone go?
Oh, should be like, who you? Oh, am I there?
Yeah,
you
you're
showed
there.
me there.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone you're looking for in particular?
Oh, I'm sorry. I spoke a little bit out loud, I guess. There was, not a lot of people out here because of the whole, rain and everything. It's not abnormal to happen. In fact, it's been happening a lot more recently. But there was more people out here earlier, and they've seemed to disappear. Disappear is probably not the right word. I'm sure they went somewhere. Maybe they're just in. That's all she says.
I don't know how to take that information. I'll be like, alright.
Mm-hmm. Nope, she doesn't say anything else to it. Also, I should change the music. That music is no longer necessary. Where's I have my rain music. Where is it? The longest rain. Somewhere around here. Roll20 would be a really nice option for you guys to add a search option in the music files. The amount of landmines in the music selection is crazy. Like, if I click that, well, that's copyright strike. No, well, actually, some of them I'm not joking, actually.
Hey, as long as you have less than like 3 seconds, it should be fine.
Huh, where is the music? The rain music? Would it be in somber? Boss tracks. Yep, I've stuck it in the boss tracks now. I don't really feel like that's overland travel. No. Ambient forest, maybe? No. Am I gonna have to do the manual method? I might actually have to go find a manual track of it. Someone's probably screaming at the screen if they're watching me right now, like, it's right there! Click it! Listen, I am partially blind. Alright, here, we're gonna do it this way. Manage audio, tracks. Let's type in rain. No. Okay. I really need to be careful Searching in the music tracks. I forgot about that. There were some actual spoilers for certain things in there. Rainy Village. How about that? There's the longest rain. I like how train comes up when I look up rain because of the way the search
It's in
functions.
there.
No, it is. It's just funny. I don't remember if there's any trains in Lapsus. I think there is. I know there is. I think there's gonna be a Noblesse. I feel like the the consortium it did. Wait, yeah, no, there's a quest tied to that. I think. Anyway. All right. Can everyone hear the rain? It is quiet, but
Yeah, I hear it.
I'll cut it up a little bit more. There we go. So, as the party is doing their thing. Well, it's not really rumbling too much, but that's okay. We'll just act like that's not there. So, anyway, yeah, if you say that, Shia will go back to doing her work. After a few more moments, you'll see Starsha and Felt come up, actually. And they kind of say, like, or Starsha was saying, how was everything going?
Well, no transceiver devices, but we were given umbrellas.
Good. She'll walk over and
Yes.
she'll open up her hand.
Yeah, pull out one of the 6, no, I guess 5 that
5
I'm holding
now,
on to
yeah.
now.
She'll
Oh, I
hold it.
guess I'll give him the felt too. You said she was here as well,
Yep,
right?
Felt will take one as well. Both of them will say thank you.
I just don't understand.
Marliana looking incredulous at each umbrella she gives out.
The homes in Chris go from completely submerged to completely dry. You're constantly going from wet to dry, wet to
I mean,
dry.
it's a
never
bubble
want that.
city, so there's like a large swaths of the area where there's dryness. Well, dryness isn't the right word. Where like
I'm
people
talking
that
about
don't need
residential.
debris.
I'm talking about homes.
All right,
I
well,
don't-
listen.
Okay, well, this is Mariana's experience.
Yes, in your home specifically, yeah, there were the rings around the sigils around certain rooms where you would walk into a literal like submerged room. But like, there are a lot of homes in Crit. I guess Marliana wouldn't necessarily know that, but your uncle has parts of his home that aren't like submerged. Most of his home's probably not submerged. Outside of the moon
Most.
pool area. Most, yes.
But not all.
Yes. I guess you wouldn't have necessarily known the rest of Chris. But yes, it is not abnormal. I mean, you're not wrong that you will go from one to the other often. But, like, in the general parts of the city, it's definitely more acclimated for people that don't want to go swimming every 5 seconds. Kinda. Kinda. There's a lot of pools around. So maybe that's not exactly accurate, but no, you could go an entire day without stepping into a pool.
Yeah. But, you could
In
also
most
go in
places.
and out.
You could.
And,
That is also true.
There aren't too many widespread, sicknesses going on from that.
Yeah, but there's towels and stuff around.
Nah, we just absorb the water.
Not everyone's an Aquian, Marlia. Or even part Aquian.
I mean, most people in Chris are.
Yes, most people in Chris are, but not everyone is an Aquian. So they had to make things for non-Aquians too.
Look, all I'm saying is, even in real life, I wholeheartedly believe getting a little wet is okay.
I mean, it can be. You could also get sick from it.
Being cold doesn't get you sick. It makes you in a position where you're under the condition to get sick, but it doesn't actually get you sick.
What, getting cold and wet? Or...
Being cold doesn't make you sick. It puts your body in a condition where you could get sick, but it doesn't make you sick inherently.
No, I don't want the Google AI. I'm tempted to look this up. Can you really get sick from being in the rain? I want to see. Cuz I'm pretty
Like,
sure
if you were already If you were already like, if there was something like a small bug that you're not feeling,
injection me sick. Yeah, I know the rain doesn't make you sick. I thought it was the temperature difference. During second downpour of rain, research has shown that cold flu viruses are more likely to thrive in cold, dry conditions. They do not transmit well in humid conditions like the rain. Oh, interesting. You cannot catch a
but
cold.
it doesn't cause sickness. It just, again, it makes the conditions easier to get sick.
Yes.
There's a difference.
That is true.
It lowers your immune.
Well, it just those sicknesses are the viruses are more able to propagate in those environments. Well,
But they're
specifically not the rain humid one, but hey, another reason to like humid weather.
No, that's dumb.
Viruses can cause cold and flu. Yeah. More people get sick during cold and rainy seasons, but it's likely far from being indoors for a long period of time. Oh, interesting. These make people more indoors, so they nearly virus measures. Huh, that's actually kind of interesting. Well, you'll learn something new every day. So, you know, that it is one of those, like, what are they called, old wives' tales or old myths?
It is. It is. It's one that I understand why people believe,
Well,
and then
I mean, reading the explanation, I don't understand it, but I understand it from the sense of it's a passed down thing that people say.
yeah, like
Yeah.
without that knowledge,
Without that
understand why
knowledge, I get where I can get someone's misconception, but with the knowledge, it definitely pretty much locks that out of being a possibility. So yeah, so I guess really what you need to worry about isn't really the rain, but just getting cold. So, getting hypothermia or something like that. Which, hey, good thing it's like spring. I think it's spring going into summer.
Yeah, it's
It's
whatever July is.
It's is it July? Oh, then we are actually in summer now. We're in the
Yeah,
simmering
we are in
season.
summer.
Simmering.
It is July 6th. It's 7th. It's 7th.
7th. We're almost caught up with the actual date it is right now.
True.
Um,
Never gonna. But
what'd you say?
it's never gonna happen. But
Oh, that we catch up with it. I mean, it's possible we could loop back around.
if we get a big time skip in a month or two.
No, I mean we could just loop back around in real time to the time when it is here.
If it takes us a year in real life to get through
What,
less
July?
than 5 days,
It won't take us a year to get there. I'm not saying in 12. I'm saying that like there will be a time eventually when we probably match days. That's what I'm saying.
it's possible. I don't think it's happened, never, but it's possible.
That's fair. I haven't really, even though I know we kept track on the other campaign, I didn't
Like I
actually
know in
remember
Team
the
Unknown,
days.
we've never hit winter.
Have you not?
No, we didn't play through winter.
Oh,
We
you know
time
what? The time skipped. Yeah, you're right. Well,
skipped. Yeah, same
Hey,
with
case.
fall, I believe. I think we've only played spring and summer.
no, you played in
Or,
fall
like-
a little bit.
Maybe the end of it, yeah.
Yeah, and then you skipped all of winter. That's why. Yeah.
Well, we skipped all of winter and 2 years of.
Yeah, you know.
Was it 2 years? Yeah. I'm
No, it
pretty
was.
sure
Are you talking about? Are you talking about the chamber, or are you talking about? Oh no, that was only 3 months.
Oh, was it? I thought it was
No, it was 3 months.
a lot longer. Okay.
Nah, it was not.
That makes more sense, honestly.
Anyway, back to what's happening now. Sorry, I got distracted looking that up. The more you know, everyone. This is the thing, the type of stuff you get here. Fact checks live on some of the stuff that doesn't matter. Anyway, so after they get their umbrellas and everything and stuff like that, it won't take long for the others to get ready. I imagine Marliana, homie, you guys are probably dressed fine and everything.
Nah, I'm heading straight to the shower.
Okay, so you are
Starsha was
going
the
to.
first one in. I would have been in, but since she got in,
Starsha, yeah.
first, okay.
Starsha did want to go quick, but Starsha's usually a night shower. She kind of threw herself off, but that's okay. She was tired last night, so. Either way, you can go in and pop in. Gathor is basically just popping out when you get back to the room.
Thankfully,
and
she's
kind of-
awake.
Yeah, she doesn't look like, I wouldn't say mean, but she just looks very like, oh, like kind of like still a bit sleepy. But she is
Typical
walking
Gathor.
around. Like, she acknowledges when you say good morning. She like waves up to you and just says, good morning. And then she
Look,
like
the day that she woke up wide awake, whenever that was, that shit was freaky. That's the day where I'm worried. Like, what the Thor's awake?
Hey,
What's
yeah.
happening?
Okay, Thor's the first one to awake. Hell has frozen over.
Mm-hmm.
Something is going very wrong somewhere. And we're gonna probably find out is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yep, you pop into the shower, nothing too crazy. Yep, everyone's good. Karina will take an umbrella while you're in the shower. Actually, they have something for this. They don't really need an umbrella. They have like they have a hood and they have a large kind of like cloak that they can drape over them that helps with the rain, so they're fine. I mean, they'll take an umbrella just because like it's being offered, but like they don't need it. So, yep, there we go. Everyone will get their stuff and head their way over. Once everyone's done with their stuff. Is there anything anyone wants to do at the guild hall before everyone splits into their, I guess, 2 groups? Or are we good?
Chilling. Oh, food. Well, yeah, food. I want food. But if, yeah, no, I need some food.
Starship would not be against it as well.
Umbrella and
While Homie's figuring that out, Shia will come out with some rolls as well as some, you can see that she will say like, I'm not the best cook. Kay normally does a lot of the cooking, but I can do a few things. And she'll come out with some, a kind of more mundane breakfast in terms of like what it is, but it doesn't look bad and it doesn't taste bad. Strips of bacon, you can see there is a couple eggs that she has made, as well as I'd say large eggs, like not like small chicken eggs, but like avianus beast eggs, like torso size eggs.
Nice.
I
was gonna say 2 eggs might not be enough, but no.
No, these are big. Yeah, these are big eggs. And then she will. Yeah. She'll kind of say, "Sorry, we have a lot of Theator eggs, but."
It looks good to me.
Yep. So they'll make that, and then also some rolls. She kind of says, "There's a bakery not too far from here. There's actually one in." One moment. Where's my earpiece? Yes, I'm in the middle of a recording. Okay, that was just someone asking to make sure I fed the cats, which I did. Okay. So before we started. Anyway, yes, she's saying, there's a bakery not too far from here. I think. Check settlement. I think there's a bakery. If not, I know where they would have gotten the rolls and stuff from, but I'm gonna check. Control F. Bake. Restaurant. Alright, are you serious? You're kidding me. Are they not called... are they not under the type of restaurant? Am I, like, tripping?
Oh, yeah, actually I should have said... I haven't made a single bakery on any of those settlement pages, so,
Doesn't Quald have a bakery?
Yeah,
or was that something that Lily added retrospect?
But I don't... Well, I don't remember... Well, I remember doing the shops, but I don't remember the names or types, but most of it...
There is no bakery on this
document.
document.
In there?
No, there's no
But
bakery
if you're not finding
document.
the word bakery, then yeah, it might be called something else.
I need like...
Place from having a bakery?
What's wrong?
What's stopping a place from having a bakery?
Oh, like I was just checking if we had any in the settlement already. Otherwise, I was gonna have to make one up. Alright, I'm making one up. Give me a second, I gotta write this in my notes. So I can tell Lily. bakery. So, we're gonna call it... What shall we call it? A bakery. Oh, brilliant bakery. Actually, maybe not a bad name. The Brilliant Bakery. Yeah. Honestly? Yeah, we'll do it with that. She'll kind of say, there's a local baker not too far from here. They're not exactly in the main parts of the city, or not city, the town, but they're still within the bounds of it. I guess it would count. They're called the Brilliant Bakery. They often bring stuff in and sell things at a side shop that they have nearby. We've bought a couple of things from them.
Well, it smells good.
Yep, and it does taste good. The baked goods are quite good. You can see it's some stuffed buns with some type of interesting paste. You're not really sure. It's very sweet and kind of like... It has this kind of like... It has a very fruity... Like, the paste is definitely mixed with some type of fruit. Karina really likes it. You can see, like, she's eating a bunch of it. Like, stuff and rolls down. She's like, this is really good. She's like, is this all consortium food? She's like, I guess in a certain way it's more of that style, yes.
They do like their desserts.
Karina nods. Desserts. They seem to like it. They seem to like it a lot. She felt, seems like she's kind of used to like this type of stuff. Probably, I mean, she's been here for a decent amount of time, so not too surprising. But outside of that, there we go. Slideshows was not working. Yeah, everyone, you get a nice meal. Get your saturation up and your sustenance. You're good. So, you may all split off into your groups. Who wants to go first?
I
don't mind starting with...
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't mind starting with Marliana to give Magellan some potential more time to show up if they get the chance to.
Though the direction of this is still something I need to consider more.
I have no idea.
Direction of... Oh, what you're gonna say?
Yes.
Well, Starsh is with you, so...
Yes.
Alright, I just need to pull up.
You're a top suspect for the, the BOS meet.
Yes, they are.
Right?
They are.
I don't remember why.
Why?
Oh, wait, is it because they're most likely the person who were tampering with the weapon?
Yes. So there's two things. One is and I have it in my notes of Starsha. One reason we believe it's Dale. There's actually, I think there's three. One reason is that Dale, we kind of did process of elimination in terms of our main suspects. And Dale was the one that proved to be the most, possible or plausible out of all of them. Breeze was in the list, but Breeze we thought it couldn't be due to... what was it with Breeze? I'm looking to see why we thought it wouldn't be Breeze. Due to the fact that part of the reason was Breeze sent us out initially to do the quest to begin with, though Starsha did mention that could have been a specific cover-up. Still, the fact that it seems that Kane doesn't suspect Breeze, and neither does Quada as well, that's something to note, but Starsha didn't rule out that it could be Breeze necessarily, just because of that, just that, that was something to note. The other thing that ruled out Breeze, at least in Starsha's eyes at the time, was that, Breeze doesn't know, what is it, I don't think Breeze was present. Or, sorry, no, Breeze was, couldn't have been the one that, which you found out later, left those weapons there. Because Breeze wasn't present during that entire time. There could have been that he ordered someone to do it, but it doesn't. That's the only other way that it could have been him. Which at that point, the other person, Dale, also could equally be the case, because Dale, you don't know if he had an alibi, and if he did, or we don't know if he had an alibi, and if he did, the same thing could be said that could be said for Breeze, which is they could have sent someone to do it. So I guess in a way that doesn't necessarily omit Breeze of being a suspect, just that like if that makes him a suspect, it also equally makes Dale a suspect by proxy. At least in terms of what they both could do. The other reason, this was like a bit circumstantial, but Felt mentioned that she really didn't like Dale, and that was the first time Felt has ever said that she does not like someone that you know of.
My instincts are some,
It was something
take note of.
Starsha noted. She didn't say that that was enough. I noted that specifically that's not enough proof to prove someone's the culprit. But it is something to note because Felt has literally never said that she doesn't like. She has a loathing for anyone, and that was the first time she's done it. And then she also mentioned that Dale likes to keep to him, not to himself, but to his the harbor master likes to keep to the other shipwrights and stuff, and also has a really big animosity towards the Alto. And this was also mentioned by Quada that they've had issues in the past as it pertained to the Mogah people, not necessarily the guild or even necessarily Breeze, just some of the people there have tried to do certain things on their land, like start fires or poach, and they've had to catch some of them, and they were told that they could not hold them, and it was a control guard matter because of the jurisdiction issues, despite them being on their land. So they butted heads with Mogah before. Though Quada doesn't seem to necessarily despise Breeze necessarily, it seems like they understand Breeze is kind of doing the best they can with the situation, and to a certain extent, it seems like they actually kind of consider Breeze not as a antagonist here. But they said that they have had issues with Dale and his people in the past. They didn't really clarify, but Starsha noted that probably just means the other shipwrights and stuff. Just at the moment, we don't really know who else that his people could mean, and Starsha and no one else asked for clarification, so that's just we're going on an assumption. This tied to the thing that if Dale did do this, he could have had one of his people leave these weapons. The other thing that was confirmed was they have not done any weapons trades. Specifically, they don't do any weapons trades with Mogah. That's the one thing they don't trade with Mogah at all, is any type of Alto armaments. This is kind of a rule that they have specified. Not saying it couldn't change in the future, just that is the current tradition that they do not do that. They'll trade wares like monster materials and things like that. That even hasn't happened in a while because it seemed the Quada had said that they have kind of most trades has kind of dried up in the last several weeks to months due to some issues they've been having again with the people there. They've been kind of standoffish and accusatory. In fact, oh no, never mind. They didn't say that part. I won't say that, but there was something else to that, but no one asked. And then the last thing about why we believe Dale was the culprit was... motive. Oh, sorry, I just dropped it. And this was the big differentiator. Kane said this as well as Sharptooth. Dale is between Breeze and Dale is the only one who is shown to have a motive to dislike the Alto. And what this kind of is trying to seems to set up is the fact that you found those Alto weapons there suggests that, initially, the suggestion was that the Alto might have had something to do with the meat being left out. But when Quada came back to you later, he told you that they have not had any misplacing of their weapons. He told you that there was a theft that happened. But they managed to get most of the materials back, but there were some things that were taken. They had suspicions that it was some people from Mogah, but they never had any confirmation because they haven't been back to Mogah in the time that this theft has happened. This was relatively recently, within the span of the last 4 to 7 days. So that was it. Those were the 3 main things. I guess 4, but yeah. So Breeze technically isn't ruled out as a suspect, but he's not looking like the main suspect. That's why Dale is the main suspect.
Right.
Alright, yep, I guess that's the main thing, like, again, from Starshia's notes. So Starship, we'll say that, like, Marliana probably asked this, and Starship would just relay all this to everyone who's going. So Felt, you, and Karina. Karina, I know your mood's not really good. Roll me a mood. I'll let you roll.
Alright.
13. I'm gonna roll something for them. Karina, as Starshia's explaining all this information, you noticed a small... How would I say? Karina... You hear a sound a little bit from Karina. Like a small bellowing sound. It's faint for a moment, and then it starts to subside after Starship finishes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Just a small bellowing sound.
Are you alright, Karina?
Karina's like, I'm fine. Yeah, nothing's wrong. Why did something? Did I say something? She like looks over like left or right. I was a bit distracted. I'm sorry.
As long as you say you're okay, it's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Let's get this done. Get this done. He just sits up. Sasha kind of looks over to you, doesn't say anything, but just kind of mouths like, keep an eye on her.
Mm-hmm.
But won't say anything else. She'll sit up. Felt kind of looks maybe none the wiser, at least initially, and we'll sit up and... Yep, you guys head off your way. Marliana, non-umbrella Marliana just walking through the rain.
Yep.
But yes, the rest of everybody
Would be
else...
skipping if it was a less serious situation.
And something... What's your passive... What's your passive awareness?
A 9? A 10?
A 9?
One of those two. It's a 10.
A 10? You know what? I'll let you roll.
Still not good.
Nah. Yeah, I'll let you roll. I'll roll. I was just gonna go off of passive, but...
I don't do passives for real.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't do rolls in general, so...
That's not... well... You don't really pick up on it. Perhaps you're kind of distracted. I'd say you're probably just distracted, kind of looking at Karina, just doing what Starsh just said to keep an eye on them. But, Starsha, I'll say, just for the sake of those in the audience noticing, Starsha kind of looks left and right as you all are moving, and picks up on the fact pretty quickly there's not a lot of... Now, it is lightly raining, right? And it does look like it's about to start more heavier raining, at least medium rain, probably within the next hour at this point. But you can tell there probably should be more people out right around. Like, even just, especially as you're getting towards the water, or, towards the, like, the dock area, out of the residential, you should start to see, like, even some people, like, at the shops and stuff like that. There's a lot of shops that are, like, closed right now. Like, at the marketplace, they're not open. Which is, again, it's raining, but even some of these places that are, like, near, like, in the sides of buildings should probably be open. But a lot of them aren't. There's a few that are. Like, there's a restaurant you can see that's open. There's a like, it looks like by the docks as you're getting over there, you can see there's some type of fisher's place that has some lights on. It looks like there's open, but there's not, like, a lot of activity there. However, as you get towards, like, the central, like, the market going towards the dock, like, area where it's open and you can see the water, you can see a large mass of people. And I'd honestly say, Marliana, even with your roll, you would hear them before you see them. Just like you'd hear like, yeah, well, we gotta get them out of here. Like, you start hearing like sound, like people talking about that. Yelling, jeering. You're not really sure at first what they're talking about. Like, you're just hearing like random words. The word, I mean, even with the two, like you can still hear like the word like border and like we gotta get those Lalel. We can't let them do this to us. It like gets heard. And then at the crest of it, the voice I want to go with for Dale. I know the voice I want to do. Let me just. I actually might get a drink because my throat is actually getting a bit parched, but I'll try to see if I can do it for a bit and before I need to get a drink. You'll see the figure. Oh god, I don't know if we have a description of Dale. Let me check. We should. Dale. My name's Dale. Dale Griffith. No, Dale Griffith. His full name is... I know what I was going for, I think, when I originally named him. I remember this all the way back from like 2 years ago. Oh my god. His full name is Dale Nicholas McGree. And he has like... Listen, for those of you out there in the audience who might have the last name McGree, or a middle name is Nicholas, or a first name is Nicholas, this is no shade to you. However, you know what? No, I'll say it later. I'll say it later. Because I feel like you'll get the vibe based on how he speaks. But yes, you will see, Marliana, a short brown-haired man. Short brown-haired man with light skin. He seems to be human for the most part, from what you can tell. He's wearing. He doesn't have an umbrella. So hey, point to you, Marliana. You know, wait on your favor. He doesn't have an umbrella.
Don't
worry. He's gonna lose this point very quickly by the words he says. Don't worry. He's got a little bit, not like a big beer gut, but he's got a little gut on him. A little bit of gut. He does look like he's got a little bit of some musculature to him. Probably past the average humans, like as in the average like persons. Nothing crazy. He actually looks like he might be a little bit quicker, you think, than he is like strong. But still, there's some notable strength. In his arms specifically, you notice. As he like, especially like holds up his fist like in an angrily like gesture of fury. His eyes seem to be this kind of like, you at first you think it's like a blue, but then you kind of see like a bit of green mix, so it's like a blue-green, like a teal almost mixture. As he's kind of like yelling out here and looking around, he's pointing to the audience as he says, "That's right, you know exactly the types we have to deal with here. You've seen what they've done. They've taken some, he kind of says, they've taken some of our food. They're poisoning our damn men. You know exactly what we have to do." And you can hear people like, "Yeah!" Like, just start screaming. You do notice... Roll me an awareness. And if you'd like, you can roll me a mood as well, if you'd like to know a little bit more about the crowd. I'll roll a Starsha. 2.
Yeah, I guess I'll roll the awareness first.
Alright.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I'll take that as the mood. So you go as the awareness. I believe.
I got a 19.
Oh, wait, what did I roll? I rolled a
22.
D100 again. God damn
You
it.
rolled a D100. Yeah, I was like,
I was like, I thought I got the 19.
And I looked again. I'm like, how the hell did you roll?
Yeah, exactly. How did I get a 22? As soon as you said it, I was like, that was 100, wasn't it? Oh boy. So yes, good. Yeah. So mood. Marliana, the vibes of this area. People are agitated. To put it lightly, people are very upset. They are, as I said, jeering and screaming. You've heard different words. You've also heard some exploitatives, as far as you know, exploitatives. Curses made towards Lalel and some they've called, we'll say, what's the term? I can't remember, but they've said a word that I don't know. Actually, Marliana, you're somewhat read. I don't know if you'd really have read about this, though. Roll me a knowledge local regal, Marliana. I want to know if you would... Time for a slur check.
Nah, probably not.
What'd you get?
6.
Okay, you don't really know. They say some type of word or like phrase, and at first you're kind of like, it doesn't really make sense. Like you're like, is that like a person's name or something? And then like as you're kind of looking around and like, again, we'll get more to the crowd in a moment. Karina, their demeanor has changed from one of kind of like the jovial regularness to they're just staring into the crowd, and then there's like this look of discomfort and then this look of like confusion followed by like annoyance, and it seems like it's teetering into something else. It's like a jumble of emotions, they seem like, on their expressions on their face. And you're starting to hear that a little bit faintly of that bellowing sound, but it's faint right now.
I'm gonna stand closer to Karina, give
Yeah.
her my support, and also make sure she doesn't do anything crazy.
Starshin notes that, and yes, and again, further on, as Dale continues to jeer and yell about things. Yes, so you can see that the attendants are all riled up. It seems to be a large group of, you'd say, like, maybe 60 or so within this group. Like, all, like, kind of cheering, things like that. Mostly, you clock that it seems to be mostly men, but there are some women, at least women, femme-presenting people in the group, though definitely more men, and most of them seem to be dock workers. But there is a few, what you'd imagine are probably people that were from those shops that were closed that have, like, aprons and some other things on. There isn't any really beastkin in this group of people. There's mainly human. You see a couple of elves and some grace-touched or graceful-looking people. It's mostly human though, and then some spatterings of some dwarves, but yeah, mostly human. You can see off to the side by where that area was where you saw like the fisherman's post, like kind of on the docks. There seems to be a large kind of, I think he's a shock. Let me check that just to make sure. But I think you've met him, actually. I think he was one of the first people we met.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Dunemeister. What the fuck is his name? It's, oh wait, I'm looking the wrong thing. Mogah. Sorry. Now I'm looking the right thing. Was it Mogah's finest? No. Kramer, that's it. Wait. Not Kramer? Was it Kramer? Oh, he's not a shock, he's a human. Kramer's, so he's a human. So we'll say it's a human and a shock man there. So the shock man you haven't seen, but the human you met, he was one of the people that you met with Felt at the docks originally when you first got to Mogah. He seems to be kind of like, he's got a hood on and he's kind of looking over. There is like a very noticeable like disregard and annoyance with the jeering group of people. You can another thing, Avalis symbols. You see a lot of Avalis symbols in the crowd, like the cross with wings, the X with wings. You see a lot of those. Just different people brandishing them on bracelets or necklaces, on their clothing and hoods. And then also by Dale, there are some very like pretty like decently and physically endowed like muscular people there. They look like, at first you kind of think for a moment they look kind of like enforcers. Maybe they're just more able-bodied dock workers. But then you kind of notice on their side some scimitars and or cutlasses, and you think, oh, they must be like more like hired guards or mercenaries or something. It's hard to tell. They don't have anything really on them that distinguishes them like as part of a group per se, but they are kind of like standing on the either sides of the pulpit he's sitting at or standing at, and they are just keeping an eye on the crowd, kind of nodding along when Dale speaks. The shock kind of like across the way next to Kramer kind of like shrugs. Kramer like throws up his hand to the side, kind of like in disregard for the group, and starts to walk over to a general good, like an area you can see where there's like a large warehouse general goods area. You can see the shock man kind of looks back over to them. He kind of clocks and notices your group, but then turns away and then continues to walk with Kramer.
Kind of want to talk to them. I think.
Starsha notes as well. She's like, it seems like there's some splitters from the group. They're not supporters, obviously. Yes. And she kind of looks over. We should talk with them about this group. And then as she says that, Dale will reach kind of it seems like he's reaching like a crescendo of things. And that's when he will speak and say something. Let me just want to quickly read something. As he kind of says, and yes, you... Right. His voice is... And you know... He says, as he kind of leans in on the pulpit, and he says, that's right. Those Lalel are he kind of says, those Lalel are planning something. I'll tell you what. I have proof for it. And he'll look over to the side, and he'll point over to one of his men, who will pull up something. And you'll be able to see it you kind of have to look around the crowd a bit. But you can see, he's like, I've got proof. I'll tell you. They poisoned our food. Look right here. And he points to a crate you can see with poisoned meat and different other things. You can tell it's tripped or something. It has like a discoloration to it. Not necessarily BOS, but you can tell there's some odd discoloration that's not like meat going bad or food going bad. It seems like there's some kind of like strange kind of like greenish yellow kind of like solution on it. And the crowd when he shows them this begins to kind of like yell and cheer like, we've gotta get him first. That's right. And someone's like, you hear a woman's voice kind of comes on and says, what about the beastkin here? Helma says they're probably in on it too. That's why they're not here. I bet they've been working with them. They're making our situation worse. They always have been. And like you can hear like some other like murmuring about this and smatterings about it. Dale kind of is like, now we have to be prepared for what's to come. Women, go back to your homes, shepherd your children and keep them safe. And for the men, we must be ready for what's going to come on next. Do not think we can look these creatures. And he kind of mummers under his breath that same thing you heard earlier that Karina seemed to nod to like kind of notice. And then he continues and says, these Lalel, our guard, the control guard, try as they might, but their hands are tied. Look, there's so many tired, we don't even have enough for the guard ship for today. We've had to replace many of them ourselves, looking after our own. I do not fault my nation for it, but I know they are stretched thin because they have to look after those abominations while they trip our food, steal from us, brandish weapons, and prepare to attack us. Just like these, and he holds up what looks to be like a fashioned kind of bone spear. It resembles that of an alto-like spear. And when he like holds this up, you can see like the crowd kind of like gasp, kind of looking at it. He's like, one of our men came back, said that they saw one of these things. Kind of shakes his head. One of these weapons left at the scenes of the crime. You know what that means. Those monster attacks, they've been using their strange magic and strange abilities to force them to come after us. Who knows what else they could be doing next. And there's like some murmuring in the crowd. And it says, the control guard, as I said, are not prepared for what must come next. Are we? You can hear like some of the murmuring in the crowd. He says, dismissed for the time being, but just know this isn't the end of things. Not by long shot. No, no, no. He kind of says, before we end, I'd like to thank our friends and our wonderful people in the docks of Mogah. And of course, he kind of holds out a hand to the Avalis faith, who has been seeing us through both physically and spiritually through this trying time as the storms get worse and everything. They have been doing so much for us in our community. And you can see like there's like some nods and like bows of like fervence to the Avalis people. You can see who have like I guess it'd be called surcoats of like with hoods on them with Avalis marks on their backs, the back of their surcoat. It says, then be at peace and be ready. And he will lean off the pulpit. And you can see some of the crowd starts to kind of like murmur around itself, and kind of some of it starts to disperse and spread around the area, passing all of you. Anything you want to do? You can see that at the moment, the person who felt well identified to you as Dale will step off the pulpit. He seems to be talking to one of the Avalis people about something. He then whispers something over to one of the people that seem to be his guards. They kind of nod. A few of them walk off somewhere. You're not sure where, to another part of the town. But a few stay with him as he kind of like continues talking to the Avalis person for a moment. Starship will look over to you, Marliana, and says, I guess now's a good time to approach if we're going to. Uh-oh. Hello? Marliana? We might have lost Marliana. Shrimp? Uh-oh. Might have had a little glitch. One moment, we're gonna pause. Oh, you're there? Can you hear me? Are you talking? I cannot hear you. Lewis, are you talking? Because I can't hear anyone. Hello? Can you hear us? We're gonna pause recording real quick and fix this, guys. Alright, audio issues fixed. We're back. But yes, Marliana had mentioned they wondered where the guards were, I believe. We're going?
Yep.
Alright. Was that an awareness?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, but not really. I mean, they're gonna be leaving the area, aren't they? Like, I don't. So I imagine even with the, I mean, I guess what direction they're going in, I guess I'll roll for that, but
yeah.
Kind of feel like just, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I don't. Yeah.
It looks 15. Like they're going towards the residential area. Districts, I guess, would be more accurate. That's about it. But past that, as Dale is doing, as like Dale seems to be talking with those Avalis people, they're kind of giving them, they're nodding to them and everything. Starsha will approach, I imagine, with you, Belle, and Karina in tow. Starsha's actually not going to be the one that says something. She's going to look over at Felt and just say, Felt, would you mind doing the honors? And Felt says, okay, I don't really know what to say. She's like, just ask him a few questions. Things like, well, how that seemed, just compliment him. She kind of looks up for compliment him. Yes, talk about how well his speech seemed to be going, and also ask him a few questions about that. Okay. I'll help if needed. She just nods. Alright. As you all approach, Dale kind of looks over and sees you all approach. I'll let you carry the 19 over, at least for this first part. There is an immediate recognition of your group, and like, he sees Felt, and there's kind of like a, at first a kind of like, huh, I wonder what she, and then he sees the rest of you, and it goes from you, who he seems like, who is, it's definitely like a who is this, then he sees Starsha, to a, like, you, like a gross kind of like expression, and then he sees Karina, and there's just a, it goes into full disgust, and then he kind of switches back, kind of shakes his head, and he's like, Miss Feld, how are you doing? And he'll walk over, and Felt will kind of walk over. He'll like hold out his hand, like, to grab hers, and Felt kind of like kind of shrinks her hand. She's like, "Oh, I'm doing all right." She kind of like holds on to both of her hands, keeping them tight to her chest. I just was curious. I mean, you seem to be having a good outing today. It's like, well, yes. Did you happen to hear it? I do understand that you are part of the Way of the Sea faith. I know it was a bit more Avalis-centered, though nonetheless we do appreciate your accomplishments and your aid that you've given to the fine folk here in Mogah, and I'm sure in other places as well in Lapsus. It's like, of course, it's my honor. He kind of looks over, he kind of shakes his head looking, I see that you brought some, she kind of says, party members. We're part of the same team. So, I see. That's something to hear, I guess. Yeah, I looks over. You can call me Dale. That everyone calls me around here. Dale Nicholas McGree. Notably, he does not offer his hand. That's all something I'll say.
Good, because we weren't offering ours either.
Yep. And he kind of says, well, if it's just for getting acquainted with everyone, I don't know your names, I guess it's only proper courtesy. And he kind of gives you like a look. Starsha will say, she'll say, you know what, yeah, she'll lead with her name here. Starsha Shield. Or, yeah. No, I think she'll say, would she say Starsha? Is there a reason why she wouldn't? No, I guess there's a reason why she wouldn't. I'm gonna admit that. I am gonna admit that, because I'm like, at first I was like, I don't think there's a reason why, but no, there's actually a very big reason bolded on my sheet that I'm looking at now. Aisha Shirin is what she'll say, or just Aisha. Aisha for short. The guy says, Aisha. That sounds like a name that's not from around here. And she kind of says, yes, you could say that I'm visiting. I came in on a boat recently. Like a boat? Well, we haven't been getting any. Oh! I see. It must be that guild team that blew in here, or I guess washed ashore, as it were, recently. I thought y'all were dead, from what I heard in the grapevine. Of course, good to see, he holds out a hand, good to see that you're not, of course. But, you know, just some things we hear. Guess
Seem
gotta
to be hearing quite some things. Clearly, some of them not very reliable.
I guess sometimes they're not. But other things do seem to be. He looks over at you. That's
I
like,
guess you just believe anything you hear then, huh? Seems like your people do.
I have. He kind of like, he has, you can see under his, like, coat, you can see he's got some suspenders, and he kind of, like, thrusts them a bit straight out, tightens them for a second. I do have a fine amount of information that comes my way, and I think I'm pretty accurate about finding things out. Guess I just didn't hear down the grapevine yet that your group had actually survived its debacle. I heard y'all were going out to take care of some monster or something. Karina kind of says beast, actually. Anyways, good to see that you made it out fine. But, he kind of says, is there anything I can help you with? I do have a lot of things to get to. Busy man. He kind of motions to the different audience people around that, that are kind of just a bit dispersed, but they're definitely around. As you can see. Sarsha will just say, yes, quite the popular ship. Right, the harbor master. Yeah, indeed. But that's nothing for you little something like you to worry about. Dale is, if you're wondering, significantly shorter than Starship. And you, Marleon. But, that's still.
Yeah.
But he just kind of notes, and kind of looks. Starsha, Felt will say, we had a few questions. I mean, we did deal with that little problem. Guy says, oh, right. I just thought about that. That means if you ran into that little problem, I bet you ran into those there's a moment where he does, like, an eye kind of shifts over to Karina, but then shifts back to your group. It kind of looks, he's like, well, I'm not necessarily wishing to talk too openly among prying eyes and such. Hails.
Well, we're charged with taking care of this investigation by the guild. So we're not...
Investigation? What do you investigate? He kind of leans in a bit when you say that.
It's all the things that are happening around this town.
Don't
You're not
say.
the only one who gets information.
Looking around. Well, don't be too... You kind of said, be careful snooping around too much. These fine people here, kind of motions around to the other people. They don't want any trouble from travelers. So say something else, but it says travelers might bring them. I'm sure they'll answer your questions fine, but they can be a bit standoffish. Don't pay it no mind, though. It starts just like, yes, standoffish. But you seem to be quite eager to speak, he kind of said. And at the moment, like I said, I am quite busy, so I have to cut this short momentarily. So I was just like, it won't take that long. But as Felt and Marliana did mention, we're doing a little investigation for the guild. So it looks over. That's what that insignia means. There's like a moment you can see. There's a bit of a frown, but he doesn't really say anything too much to it. He just like, she kind of says, yes, well, investigating. So, like they said, the happenings on. Did you showed off something at your big, seems like big meeting here? A bone spear. And it says, oh, it kind of motions over. You can see it's in the box where the tainted materials are, like food, like stuck in one of the things or one of the meats. Says, oh, that thing over there? Yeah, found it while we were scouring around. Looks like one of our control guard members found it dangling around in the area once we investigated some food stores that went. I got a little tainted, as you can see. I'll tell you what, those are nothing but trouble. Marliana, you can hear that bellowing a little bit again, faintly. Says, yeah, let me tell you, we've been having problems with them for not just the last few months, but honestly, it's been happening for years. I've always been jealous of the consortium and its wares and such. Not just that, the access to trade things we have. Yeah. They got all that land they're sitting on, and they're not doing nothing with it. They don't know how to work it, despite them having some ancestral tie or something to it. Bellowing, slightly insensitivized.
I'm gonna like take her hand a little bit. You know?
Yeah, just hold her hand. She grabbed your hand very tightly, but she.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not doing anything yet, but you can hear bellowing. Yeah, it starts just like, oh well. With all that being said, it sounds like you have a somewhat lasting relationship with them. Relationship, if that's what you want to call it. Yes, if that's what you'd like to call it. Says, well, like, what do you want to know about them? I can tell you that they're definitely the ones that stole from us most of our food and such. They're the ones that poisoned whatever we had left. That says they're probably the ones. She says they're even the ones most likely that went after Cain and the rest of our men. Speaking of, I haven't heard. He says, "Are you? How are the other control guard doing that went with you? I heard that there was some that went off to do that quest. We know one of them came back, ran away. You know, that explains how we found out about things and how we got this." And it holds up one of the weapons, or shows one of the weapons. Yeah, I heard all the rest of them control guard got. He kind of like stops himself. Unfortunately killed. It's sad to see brave men and women. Actually, he would probably just say brave men. I'm gonna be honest. Brave men dying to something like that. I imagine that since you're all back safe and sound, you took care of them. Those monsters, I mean. Sasha says peace, as Karina mentioned. Begins speaking. Yeah, beast, monster, all the same. It's just like...
Well, the ones we found are taken care of, but... like you and everyone else, there's trouble brewing. People should be careful.
They certainly should be. But it's just like, as it were, you mentioned those weapons and such, that one of them brought one back. The one that ran away, as it says, I'm sure it was more of a tactical withdrawal. She kind of says,
If you
that's a word
tactically
you could
withdraw
use.
the second you see a beast, then sure.
As that guy says, I'm sure he realized that some folks like yourself, travelers as it were, from the guild could probably take care of most of the problem, and that he would be better served reporting back what had happened. And says, I guess that's the way of looking. But he didn't seem to care about helping his other fellow compatriots at the present, or looking for Cain. And it says, well, I can't be sure about all that. Again, he's a young man, got a lot of his life left to him. I imagine he was quite scared. And to be fair, all of you look like you're more accustomed to fighting and battling creatures like that. Just saying. It's like, yes. But, you know, if word went around that the consortium got control guards afraid of a little Dorga, I don't think it'd be quite well. It's like, well, miss, I don't imagine that a rumor like that being spread would be quite nice. I give Starsha a look. He says, yes, it would be. Which of course is why we are merely here asking some follow-ups, as I heard. The spears. Where did you get those? She kind of says, seems like maybe your horns might be a little bit in the way of your ears a bit, miss. I'm sorry. I said that we got them from the control guard man that got back here. As well as some stuff we found from the food stores. He says, you don't say. Is that the only way? I am counting more than just 2 weapons, though. You said he came back with 1. Cass says, well, it's not the first run-in we've had with them. Besides, he picked up a few things that they leave staggered about. It's not like they're really the best at keeping track of their shit. Karina looks like they're about to step forward. And I assume, Marliana, you're gonna just keep them held a little bit? Yep. They kind of stop. They look back over at you. What are you gonna say anything or gesture or anything?
I'm not gonna say anything to her, but I am
Okay.
gonna. I'll take like just a tiny step forward, just so that like I'm slightly in front of her. You know, just like
Yeah, just
my
slightly
leg
like
is in front
a
of
way,
hers.
Yeah.
uh,
Sasha kind of says, no. The Alto Latel like quite sophisticated. That's sophisticated. That's a big word, miss. To describe them creatures.
maybe a big word for you, but you wouldn't know because you barely have this relationship. They treat their weapons better than I've seen the control guard. They keep very good records of what they take in and out of the village.
Well, evidently not well enough. Besides, if you so happen to know how we know that it's their weapons and such, they've traded some stuff with us before. Karina immediately says, like, that's a lie. He's like, I beg your pardon, miss, sir, what are you exactly? She just, like, she looks like she's about to... She looks a little bit upset, and, like, she kind of, like, reaches over, like, kind of over your shoulder, like she's about to step forward. And she will continue to speak as she says, that's a lie. We don't sell weapons. We don't trade them with Mogah. We haven't. So he's like, that stands up. Whoa. No need to get violent. I know it's one of the things that y'all like to resort to. Just reporting back what I hear from some of my dock workers. They say fair trade with the Alto tribe, and they got some of the weapons eventually. That's how we were able to figure out it was them, to be sure. So it's just like, do you mind if I see one of these? I don't know why it would matter, but sure, whatever. He hands her one of the bone daggers. Sasha kind of looks over. She'll walk over kind of backwards to Karina. Karina, if you would, could you ascertain the authenticity of this, please? Karina kind of looks at her quizzically. I'm just trying to see if this is standard for Alto armaments. I imagine you would know well. After all, many Alto are quite resourceful in making their own armaments, as well as each other's. Karina kind of looks at it. Karina's gonna roll an appraisal.
I
Anyone?
can as well too.
Yep,
I mean,
go ahead and
she'd
roll.
obviously be better, but I've got a
Go ahead and roll.
solid.
Go ahead and roll.
Yeah, there we go. I just had to. Here we go.
By the way, tell me if the fan is too loud. I can cut it off. I have it because it was getting hot in here.
I think it's fine.
What'd you
Alright,
get?
I'm gonna add one of my human die.
All right.
I don't feel like I'm gonna be using too many today, anyways. So.
Damn. All right. There you go. Good choice. With a 14, you hit the DC. You and Karina both. Karina's like looking, and you can see she kind of like is taken aback for a moment, and they look over, and you notice as well. You haven't really seen. I mean, you've seen the Alto weapon that Magellan brandished while you were in Quald. Excuse me a lot. And like when you guys went to the store, like you are pretty good about noticing peculiarities about weapons and stuff. You know, being a smith and all, right? Or at least starting to be, right? So you pick up on some things quickly, especially with craftsmanship and different styles of like creating things. One thing you notice immediately, the serrated edges of this dagger are backwards. They're not how you normally see the serrated edges on the Alto weapons. Or kind of in general. Not just that, the tip is bent, like, it's kind of like broken, actually. Which, to be fair, is something that could happen with wear and tear. But this weapon doesn't look like it's been used that much. it actually looks like it's rather new, like it's been made recently or semi-recently. Which begs the question, one, why would a damaged weapon be like this? Maybe it was thrown out. But also, why does it have, like, certain irregularities about the craftsmanship? This is definitely not something... You've seen the Ulta weapons. They're pretty diligent about how they craft their weapons and stuff. They're pretty good about it. Most smiths and different types of scale shapers are, to be fair. But this seems kind of half-assed, is I guess the word you would think. Maybe it was a scrap that was thrown out or something like that, but if this was used or intended to be used and shown to be used against, like, a monster, nah, you wouldn't probably want to use this. This looks not really well. Honestly, from a faraway glance, is probably the only way someone could assume that this was, like a decently made, like, honestly, like an okay made armament. Because getting up close, it's pretty obvious it's not. Yep. That's what you get. And Karina seems to possibly notice. She kind of looks over. She says, "What is this thing?" And says, well, "I would think someone of your ilk would know your own weapons when you see it, but I guess you're too dumb for that too." She.
I'll say something before Karina does. You know.
Yeah.
Not that her words aren't meaningful, but she is a little hot-headed, and that's just not gonna. Dale's not gonna. Well, he won't care either way. But look, I haven't been around the Alto for very long, and even I, as a blacksmith, can tell that this is a poorly made weapon that doesn't resemble their craftsmanship at all.
Yeah, it looks over.
There are many details here that are just completely wrong. Even a worn weapon wouldn't look like this.
Yeah, it says. He kind of says, "Well, maybe someone was mistaken. Either way, they sold them to us, and that's that. Well, some of them at least. Some of these aren't. Like I said, we found them." Karina you can hear the bellowing. The bellowing is now like this, like it's audible. You can hear it like louder. It's like a gator or a lizard bellowing. And I kind of say, Dale's kind of like, "What the fuck is that?" Whatever. Yeah, like shakes his head. She's like, "Dale, you haven't really. You mentioned the control guard members, but you haven't mentioned anything about Kane." He's like, "Kane, what about him?" She's like, "About his condition, if he's all right or not." He's like, "Well, I imagine Kane's a trained, seasoned fighter. I imagine works with the guild. He can take after himself, and I'm sure if he was dead, that she would be over there crying storm, or y'all would have probably said something. So I'm sure he's fine or whatever."
Sounds like you don't really care.
It's unfortunate. He kind of puts a hand like half-heartedly over his heart. It's unfortunate that he ended up that way. I heard. Well, I assume that he's been hurt. He's not with you, right?
You know what they say about assuming.
Well, if he's doing perfectly fine, then maybe he, like you said with the other control guard person you want to talk shit about, ran away when things got scary. Maybe you found him hiding in a tree or something. But it's just assuming, as you say, since you won't tell me nothing. Anyway, he decided to work with the guild. We all know it's not safe to work with them.
Says who exactly? What facts are you?
I mean, it should go as no surprise. And it says, things get around the grapevine around not just here, but all lapses. Guild comes in, tries to fix a bunch of problems it knows nothing about, ends up getting a lot of people hurt and themselves. Same story. Ugh. Different book.
Like what?
Looks over. He kind of thinks like, one example? Well, take that whole debacle that happened with Memoriam about a year and a half ago or so. Wait, was it a year and a half ago? About a year ago, I think it would have been. About a year ago. A retribution or whatever bullshit. They involved themselves with it, tried to start this lapses initiative that the fucking council, or at least some of them, are starting to try to figure out now, or try to mosey up to. They would have been better off just leaving them for dead. Okay. Spits to the side. Damn Morms. And kind of looks over. Yeah, either way, Gil stuck his nose in that debacle. And guess what? Sitiver and several other cities in Delbra were half of them were burned to the ground. No thanks to them. Would you like to roll a local regal or recollection? You can.
Yeah.
Probably not a recollection, probably a local regal for you in this case. The only reason I say is because while you are from here, and it was a big thing, I think you were too reclusive to know about this. This wasn't something you would just read in a regular book. Probably would have been like a newspaper or something. So, local regal.
Yeah. Wow, I was so close to not being shit. Okay.
What, was it not good?
It was a 3.
Alright, I'll roll as Star Chef. Okay. Yeah, Starcha knows. Also, I feel like Karina doesn't. What about Felt? Okay, Felt knows too. That actually kind of weirdly makes sense.
Yeah.
Felt kind of thinks for a minute. She's like, are you talking about the whole conflict that happened 9 months ago? He's like, that exactly. Gil stuck his nose in that whole debacle. Many consortium Lapsians lost their lives in the whole thing. We even sent people to fix their damnation. We should have kept them here. They can figure out their own damn problems. We have enough to worry about here with our own issues. Kind of looks at Karina a bit. Sasha kind of says, if I recall correctly, though, that debacle the guild helped with, I said hindered, she kind of says, regardless, was involved with. That conflict was only the span of around 3 months. That could have been a long drawn-out conflict if it wasn't for their involvement. And the support, of course, by the consortium, the combined forces of the consortium, Momorum, and Noblesse and Orocvane. And it says, and what? They got help from a couple of... it says, we could have dealt with that problem ourselves if the Momorans weren't in the way, or they could have dealt with that problem themselves and not caused a whole damn uprising on us. It says, yes, from what I recall, their people were quite upset. I said, with the consortium, if I remember correctly. It says, yeah, they blamed us for some bullshit that happened during the Rising War. Like it was our fault. That they couldn't take care of their own damnation. Asha kind of says, that is a perspective that one could have. I wouldn't say it's an accurate one, though. And I said, I don't really care what you have to say about it, foreigner. It says, right. And it says, now if you'll be excusing me, I have more important things to do than entertain the damn carnival circus. And she kind of says, right, it's only one, or just two more things. While we were at the Alto, or we were at the Lalel camp, he says, oh, so you stayed with them. Yes, briefly. Helped us lick our wounds after the debacle with the Dorga. Yeah, whatever. It says, actually, speaking of that, Cain was shot with an arrow. Happened to be laced with something. It says, you don't say. Well, considering we got a spear that was laced with that poison, it's probably them damn Lalel folks. I hear they can't aim very straight. Karina's like, shut your mouth. And it says, oh what? Hit a bit close to home? So, Starship kind of like, no, it wasn't one of their arrows. It was from a crossbow. And the Lalel don't use crossbows. And it says, I have no idea. She kind of says, perhaps. I believe it's standard issue for many Lapsus control guards, or consortium control guards, to use crossbows, considering that their range abilities aren't necessarily the best. They're not trained the best, you see. And he kind of gives her like a look. Well, accidents could have happened. Maybe one was trying to help him and accidentally shot him. That doesn't explain the poison. No, sure. I'm not exactly one of those people that can figure that type of stuff out. Might want to tell Brees about it, though. I'm sure he could help. Yes, I'm sure. He says, no, he's like, if that's it, he's like, no, just 2 more things. She's like, ugh. Where you lead? He kind of says, the Alto tribe. They're missing some Alto weapons. And he says, those bastards, I get, he says, you were talking about me. You're talking about us not getting those things fair and square or anything, or not finding them. Apparently they can't keep that track of their own shit. Hunting gear or whatever. She says, well, they were stolen, not lost. He kind of looks over. Stolen? What, you think we did it? She says, well, you do have Alto weapons, some of which don't exactly look as accurate as they would be. I imagine... She kind of says, if someone were to have stolen the Alto weapons, and I don't imagine they would have been able to steal a lot considering how well the Alto is at keeping track of their things, I'd imagine they would have had to supplement some forgeries. And it says, are you making an accusation? Yeah, it says, no, I'm just making an observation. If it was an accusation, she like leans in, we'd be a little bit more forceful. Kind of looks at you, Marliana, Karina, and Felt. Well, observations aside, we got what we got the way we got it, I told you. You want to ask some of the other dock workers, they'll tell you the same damn thing. Though I'm sure they won't be as nice and conciliatory as I'm being with you. Because you're annoying.
Most people who are scared of the truth find questions annoying. Isn't that interesting?
Looks over. I don't know what you mean by that, miss.
Well, I just don't see how a cordial conversation like this can be all too annoying. We're just leading an investigation.
It's raining, I'm busy, and you're all being in my business.
We're just trying to look out for the town and all the people around here.
Sure, by going up to one of the most prolific harbor master and main harbor master of the town, helping keep people afloat and together, and accuse them of shit, and other people that work with them of shit. That doesn't sound too, as you say, helpful.
Well, you said you had all the information. We thought we'd go to...
I said I had some of the information. I hear things down the grapevine. I'm the harbor master. Of course I hear things. People tell me stuff. Don't know everything that goes on in this damn town.
Well, still, we have to ask the people who have the information, regardless of if you have all of it or not.
Phil kind of says, considering how much you've talked about things, what is your relationship with the Alto tribe? And honestly, what seems like you have quite a negative view of them. And the kind of says, and the relationship with Mogah. And it says, oh, you mean that the whole Shia and Kane going over there all the time? Yeah, whatever. They think they can make something out of it. I don't really care. Breeze as well. He's alright as a guard captain, but he's... If you get, he kind of looks over and he kind of says, I'd be more worried about Breeze than I would be me or any of my dock workers. He's not running as tight of a ship as he once, and I hear he's holding some mighty fine secrets himself. Or have you not, he kind of says, oh, have you not heard? There's a rumor that he's got someone chained up in his basement. Darsha kind of looks over, chained up in his basement. Says, wild rumor, you might think, but if you go around his house late at night, sometimes he lives on the top. He kind of points over at the top of that hill over there. A little bit, not outside necessarily a town, but just a little bit on the edge. Some say you can hear that sounds like moaning or sometimes sobbing. Some people think you might have some type of, predilections or something. I don't know. Either way, just something to keep just something to note. Breeze has other secrets as well. After all, he transferred here from up north, couldn't quite cut it. Holds that he did a good job and everything, but from what's been shown, seems like he was a bit incompetent, and that was why he was moved to somewhere with a little bit less responsibility down here. Guess he mucked that up too. Wouldn't be surprised if he's got some other skeletons in his closet though. Anyway, about Lalel, since you want to know so much, I'll say it as I said at the pulpit. I think they'd be much happier out in. Janet says, I think they'd be quite happier out in that forest proper. That land they've got there is pretty good and sizable. And honestly, looks over at Karina, I think we make better use of it than they are. But just my thoughts. Oh, sorry. It is their ancestral land, or whatever they call it. For now, at least. He kind of waves his hand off and starts walking off. Karina, looks like she's about to step over. But I imagine you're just going to kind of block her.
Yeah.
Sarsha will also help. She'll kind of just put a hand on Karina's, shoulder and just say, calm down, Karina. He is trying to get a rise out of you. But as he kind of walks away, he's foolish though, because he's let some things slip. Karina just says, yeah, whatever. She looks over, and you can, as Dale is walking away, you can see his other 3 guards accompanying him, and they head over to a large kind of building at the edge of the dock. Sasha kind of I wonder what building that is. As they're walking and others are around, you all would hear whispers. Marliana, with a passive, you kind of hear what sounds to be are those the people that swept in? That's what Dale said. So they're part of the guild? That means we probably can't trust them. You can hear words like that. There's some people that Sarsha and Karina hear that say foreigners are always causing trouble. And like Dale said, who knows, they might he kind of says, do you think that something like what happened with Sidiver could happen here? He kind of says, it's what happened, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, it says, yeah, but more the retribution's dealt with, he kind of says. That's not necessarily always true. Remember, there's some more people over at Lalel, and you hear some people do you think that they're planning an attack here? Says, who knows? It's been 6 months since then, but maybe they was waiting for the time to strike. After all, that happened after the Rising War with those demons, didn't it? You hear there's just murmuring about different things. And the last thing I'd say all of you would hear is you can never trust those beasts. Karina, the anger kind of looks like you can see they're fist balling up before eventually it just subsides and they just kind of slink down. And they don't really say anything. Sasha says, let's go. We have enough here. We don't need to stay here anymore. Felt's right, but do you not... Felt kind of looks. She looks at the other people kind of with this look of why would you why are you saying something like this horrid? There are some people that look at Felt and you actually see looks of from a few of them kind of shame, and then some of them give her scoffs, but there's definitely a few looks of shame, but they don't really meet her gaze. Fel just kind of turns away. She says, as you guys are walking, Fel just says, I should have said something, I'm sorry. Starsha looks over. No, it's fine. Some people, I've heard, in the consortium are like that. Unfortunate that it had to be our first town we went to. Quinn just kind of murmurs, some people are like that. Right.
It's just because they don't know any better.
Starsha kind of says, true, but that doesn't make it any better or right. I guess I see what Zera was saying about if it was really worth doing or not. So I should say anything. Keep going. She was just murmuring.
Well, the only way they'll learn is if we show them what's right.
Starsha nods to you. Then then we can start by making sure we have everything we need. She kind of murmurs to you, or like kind of whispers, I'm certain that Dale is the one that did this. But we need something a bit more than just a appraisal that these weapons were forged. Something a bit more damning. Perhaps Breeze could help us. I am curious as well. Felt's like, you don't believe the things Dale was saying. He was obviously lying. Sarsha's like, I'm sure he was stretching the truth about many things he said, of course. A lot of his racial species animus, of course. However, she kind of looks over. I heard some things about what Dale's. I heard some murmurings about the things people whispered about race. It's not that it's true, but it is true that those rumors about it. Dale didn't make that up on the spot, based on what I was hearing. Felt kind of says, that doesn't mean, she says, I don't think that means it's true. But I'd be curious to know why that those rumors started, or where they came from. From Dale or something else. Either way, it seems like our road's leading us to Breeze, so we'll have to hope that the others got some information. Cutting over.
It's too bad we didn't get those transceiver devices, but
yes.
the guild is short on supplies.
She kind of stops when you say that. The guild is short on supplies. Why then did I? That's. They haven't gotten any shipping supplies, or supplies from ships. Those crates. They weren't there when we first got here.
You're right.
She kind of thinks. Look, she looks back like you guys are leaving the area, but she looks back and yeah, there are crates, like new crates that weren't there around the docks in different places. One moment. She kind of says, I need, Marliana, mild diversion for a moment. Mild diversion for a moment.
Okay.
Okay, well, hopefully diversion's good. What you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do what I wanted to do when we first arrived.
Alright.
To this little area. Cause there's still people kind of around.
Yeah, there's people congregating around in places, yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna hop towards the center, stand on one of these crates. Wait, nah, I'll just go towards the center. And I'll loudly say, to catch everyone's attention, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. What he's saying, what he's showing, what proof is it You just listened to what he had to say and didn't give it a second thought. You just heard what you wanted to and just thought the worst of people.
Some of the people start looking up to you. Like, there's a couple people, like, some people give you, like, some scowls. Some people seem to be genuinely listening.
How can you judge a situation without actually looking at it yourselves? Without just listening to what others have to say? For all you know, everything he's said could have been fabricated. Do you even know what the Alto are dealing with now? What the Lalel town is dealing with?
One of the,
You
men
aren't the only
approach
one
you.
suffering.
Go ahead, sir.
You aren't the only one suffering.
One of the men, as they approach you, he kind of says, like, he says, he kind of says, I don't got food for me or my family right now. I don't have time to worry about what them damn beasts are doing over there, outside of what they're doing to us.
And do you think the situation is any different over there? You think this isolated town is the only one suffering?
The woman kind of says, who cares if they're suffering there? They caused this to us. Why should we care?
How can you even say that?
We kind of say, you
People
can
are
hear
people.
someone, and the one of the people in the crowd kind of says, we saw the spears and the armaments, Alto stuff, through and through.
Have you ever seen an Alto weapon before today? How can you really say that that's Alto just because it's made of bone?
Roll me a logic.
Bet. I'm pretty sure that's just a
This isn't the only check you're gonna do for this, by the way, but you know.
Come on, man. Whatever. I'm not wasting a die on that.
Another guy says, even if I haven't seen anyone up close, what reason do I have to believe you over Dale over there, who's been with us through thick and thin?
Well, I actually have experience in other places. Where has Dale been? What has he seen outside of this city, this town?
One of them's like, he's traveled all across parts of Lapses, right? Says, damn right. He's been all across the consortium and more.
Yeah, just the consortium? How much worldly experience is that really?
You've
You've only been to places that are similar to here.
A woman approaches, how many places have you been, miss?
I've seen more cultures.
One of them says, oh, they're deflecting. They probably, they probably would say this. And it says, they're deflecting. They probably never jumped out of the pool that they were born in.
And can you say any different?
And he kind of looks over. Doesn't say anything, just looks over.
And yes, I may not have as much experience, but I have actually gone out and actively sought to see the differences between people. And you'd be surprised to know we're not all that different.
They're kind of like some mumming around the crowd. One of them kind of says they would say like, they came with one of those Alto people. I saw them earlier when they were walking around with Dale. And there's kind of like
I also came with Felt. Don't you know Felt?
And she's they kind of look. There's actually when you say Felt, like, and they see, because they were looking at Karina, and then they kind of see Felt and they're like, what? Yeah, they're like, Felt's with them? Yeah, Felt's with them. They're kind of like murmuring to themselves, like, here's some guy's like, Felt, she helped me out with my broken arm earlier. And someone's like, be that as it may, it doesn't matter. He kind of looks
But
over.
weren't you so worried about you and your families? As you should be. You have every right to be worried about you and your families. But you would so easily dismiss someone who's actively helping your community?
Yeah, says over. He kind of looks over. And what of Dale and the Avalanche Church? They've been doing just as much as Felt has. Not discounting the girl or the lass right there. She's done a lot for us. Not saying she hasn't. You can't expect us
Yeah.
to just turn a blind eye when our people are threatened. Karina actually.
But have you seen this threat? Have you actually seen this threat?
We're looking at it.
If you Well, what if Dale had told you that Felt was this person trying to go against your community?
Well,
All the good she's done wouldn't have been accepted if you would have just listened and looked blindly.
Karina would just say, "Those aren't our weapons." They kind of look over. I likely stoic. Karina just like puts her foot down. Those aren't our weapons. We wouldn't make something like that. Besides, we don't trade with the town. Guys, one of them says. He says, "That's right. They don't trade with the town." There's like a bit of a
And when's the
murmuring.
last time you've seen a shipment of this size, I thought that supplies were running thin.
When you say that, there's kind of some more murmuring. One of the dock people, one of the dock hands kind of looks over and they're like, maybe we had some stuff in storage. I think Dale said something about it. We're on our last legs though, alright? We don't have much left. We can't even go in the waters to start fishing and stuff because there's monsters in there. And there's beasts out there. Who knows what else? I heard there's raiders even. Some people are like, raiders? Like, yeah, I heard something about it. The guard's not able to handle everything right now. Spelt would say, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, Felt kind of, actually, I think Karina would say this. Karina kind of says, you're also worried about pointing the fingers that you're really not, you haven't even helped figure out your own problems yet. Yes, we do know our problems, damn it. And it says, then why don't you start by fixing some of them? He's like, if you think we would, we could. He's like, you haven't even tried asking for help. He said, of course we've asked for help. Felt kind of looks over. From everyone? There's kind of like some murmuring around for a minute. I'm gonna roll something. Karina says, we never got any reports of asking for aid from the town. Someone's like, why would we ask for help from you all? I mean, she kind of looks over. You wouldn't give us help anyway. It's a waste of time. She's like, you didn't even try to ask. Karina just kind of looks at them. Why do you think we hate you so much? We don't. So someone's like, that's a lie. I've seen some of you. I've seen the way they scoff. I've seen the way they act around us. Why do you think they haven't? There's a rule about trading with us. They won't trade us weapons. They barely trade us anything if they do. She kind of says, so you could use those weapons for what? Kind of stops talking for a moment. There's a bit of a lull in the crowd, if you'd like to say something, Marliana.
Look, the Alto would probably assist you if you asked, even though you don't treat them very well. And the guild, they're actively trying to help every day. But it seems like you just want to do things on your own. Well, we'll show you just how much help we can offer. We've already dealt with some of the beasts in the forest, and we plan on taking care of the other issues that are stopping the trade routes. Just imagine what you could have done if you would have asked for help sooner. Or at all.
Roll me a... I'll let you do charm.
Bet.
Though I feel like this leans more in logic, I'll let you do charm instead. Please, for the love of God, tell me that that was not picked up.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, no, it's
Just
fine.
roll for charm, right?
Yeah.
I hate life.
What'd you get?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm guessing it's a 1. Yep.
Mhm.
Well... Alright. Wow. Damn. I mean, to be fair, they don't have a terrible plus, but... the crowd's kind of mumbling amongst themselves for a moment, and they just kind of like... Oh, what? You can see, actually, there's a couple of those very able-bodied dock workers that have those swords. Kind of walks over. All of you and's like, hey, off the stage. What? It says, we got work to do around here. We don't need you mucking things up.
Like I said, you don't have to just listen to my words and agree with them like you do with Dale, but you can't deny that our actions will speak for themselves.
I said get, and Feld says, we're getting off soon. Just one moment, please. He just kind of scoffs, whatever. Just like walks to the side. You can see the crowds beginning to disperse. There's a person that's like left in the crowd. He kind of looks over at you. And he says, looks over. Miss, I can tell by your accent that you're Lapsian or Consortium related. I imagine Tide Pact.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
The rain begins to pour a little bit more. It says, if you're... Okay, it says, if you had a responsibility to keep your family safe, to be something for them, to lead something, what would you do if you fail that?
Wait, say the last part again?
What would you do if you fail that? To lead, like, basically saying, like, if you had a family, and you had to be, like, you had to lead them, you had to feed them, like, effectively, like, you had a responsibility to them, and you failed that, what would you do? He kind of looks over, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. We're not getting help anytime soon. You can say that he kind of says, you can say that they'll help us out. He kind of starts sniffing. He kind of says, I know that we haven't been good to those people in the Lalel. I just don't know what else to do. They're going to go hungry if we don't do anything.
Well, I would do anything I needed to. Pride be damned. If I needed to ask for help, I would.
But they're going to just tell us to shove off. They have no reason to help us.
Well, you couldn't know unless you tried.
Karina kind of walks over and looks at them and just says, we don't always need a reason to do the things we do. Especially if we're helping someone out. As I recall, did you guys got some barbecue left over, didn't you? that you kept with you on the wagon?
If we did, I didn't write it down.
I thought that you said you wanted to take some extra. But I don't remember if the thing I don't remember, because I remember the conversation coming up, but what I don't remember is did you guys get an icebox? Because I don't think you did. Or maybe
we
that
definitely
was.
don't have one.
Okay, so I think that was the conversation, was you were thinking about getting some, but then you were like, we don't have an icebox. So you need to get an icebox. Okay. Karina is going to... Karina's going to hold out, like, kind of a hand to them and say, what, say, is your family nearby? And he just kind of gonna sniffle a bit and just kind of, like, nods and says, just, yeah, it says, I'll be back, alright? And they kind of just look over and they just nod. And they just sort of like walk away. Down towards the residential area. Karina just looks over and she says, I'll be back in like an hour, okay?
Do you need any help?
Maybe. How good are you with a bow?
I can shoot energy.
That might be a bit excessive for what we need. Felton looks over. Excessive? It says, well, if these people are hungry, the best thing we could do is hunt for some things. And it says, there's also foraging. It's like, right, we could get them different plants and stuff. It says,
Yeah.
the issue is, Fel kind of thinks, what's wrong? It's not going to be enough for everyone forever. We can only get so much. We have to figure out a way to get the trade supply routes open. And if we can, we have to get a way to get a message to Lalel. We have a lot of... We might be running out on supplies, but we have enough to at least help some people for a bit, just as a holdover. Then we can all get some help once we get back to Quald. Belle kind of says, I don't want to be presumptuous, but Belle kind of looks over at Karina. Karina says, I don't know if Sharptooth's gonna agree. There's a lot of bad blood. He wasn't lying. But, like you said, Marliana, you have to try, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have Shia send a message if they can to them. Says like a bird? She kind of nods. Yep, Shia has a few. So he kind of says we should get, and as they say that, Starsha's like, alright, let's go. Back to the guild hall. She kind of looks over at you, Marliana. Good job.
Thanks. So I don't know how well it ended there. I guess one person at least took consideration.
It starts with one person, and then it snowballs into others.
Right.
And it looks over at Karina and thinks, that phrase, where'd you hear it from? Karina's like, what phrase? The one about doing things, not doing things because we have a reason. Karina kind of like, like scratches behind their head. She's like, I heard you murmur it once. Sasha kind of just thinks, I guess I'm a little bit looser with my words than I think. Anyway, to the guild hall. She just keeps going. So, back to, oh boy, my brain. Lewis. Shrimp might be asleep. That was a longer time than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I don't mind stopping here, but if he would like to do the breeze section, we can. Magellan did join the thing again, but also he didn't join. Okay, he's gone now. Yeah, his internet's going in and out because of the storm. So, yeah.
Right.
I should check on a certain someone and if they're traveling tonight and make sure that they're out there. Hey, probably are. Oh, sorry.
Well, since Toki's struggling, and
Yeah, I'm okay
Lewis
with
is-
stopping just because like Lewis seems to be a little sleepy. You know, that's all right. We did start a little bit later than we normally do, and also because Toki's not here and I do actually kind of want him to be present. We will stop here. I don't mind actually coming back and doing that little bit of breeze like later. So play it by ear. But in any case, thank you all for watching today's session. I hope you all enjoyed. It has been fun for us. It was a little calm one. I say calm one. A little bit of some, little bit of some spice in this session. Yeah, we got to see the prolific Dale Nicholas McGree. Yeah, McGree. As well as yeah, that was kind of it. We did get to see a couple people that might be important later. We saw Kramer, of course, and then we also saw a Shockman who both seemed to be a little not despondent, but just disregarding of the way that Dale seemed to be getting everyone riled up. And perhaps what Dale might perhaps be planning to do with riling up everybody, and what did Starsha find in those crates? We'll have to find out in the next session. Actually, I could actually tell you what it is, or should I leave it as a cliffhanger?
Nah, that'd be a great cliffhanger.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
You'll find out next
yeah, you'll
time.
find out what it is. I'll tell you what it is in the next session. So you have to tune in for that. Anyways, we'd like to thank all of you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as it is a good thing, to my understanding. Likes, however, are very good for keeping our stuff in the algorithm, as well as notifications if you want to stay posted once you're subscribed to the channel on when we upload things. Of course, this is not the only campaign we run. We have 2 main campaigns, and we might have some side adventures starting to run very soon as well. I'm not sure those will always be recorded, but you might see some of snippets of them in some other videos. We got some other recorded content planned in the future as well. Maybe some games we might see. I know we haven't been keeping up as much with Monster Hunter stuff as much as we play Monster Hunter, but there's some stuff. There's some Helldivers things and other funny things we get into, but maybe I'll make like a big like funny moments thing of like a bunch of different stuff we do. That could be fun to do, but that might take editing time. But in any case, outside of that, leave a comment on what you perhaps think Starsha found in the crates. I think it might be a little obvious as to what she might have found, or one of the things she might have found in the crates. Good thing they distracted well, because I rolled a 4 on my stealth. So if you had not rolled well, I would have been... I mean, my stealth would have still been like an 8, but I would have been not doing the best. So, good job, Marliana. You were the MVP. I think you, Karina, and Felt were the real MVPs of today's session. So.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Finding out a little bit more about how maybe Marliana will be in the future, in terms of her such, as well as an interesting question that was asked at the end for her, about her family and responsibilities, or I guess family and responsibilities. So, hey, I'm writing it down what you said about how you said pride be damned.
I said that
Uh-huh.
as a generalized statement.
Yeah, you did, but it was an answer that might relate a little bit to you, so I'm just making sure Lily knows that what was said, you know. I think that was very pointed.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But in any case, we will see you all in the next session. Bye-bye!
See ya.